Aljo and Henry. I'm fighting the winner for the belt. It's rare when you got a title fight coming up and no one gives a fuck. They care about who I'm fighting next.
What were you doing? What was the job?
I drove the short bus.
No.
That's fire, dude.
I worked at a mentally disabled group home. One of them would in this peanut butter jar and put it up in his roof. That was when I first met Danya, I was like, marriage's dumb, right? I can vividly remember having that conversation with her. And now I'm married.
Yeah. You ever got the doorbell rung one time?
Doorbell rung?
Yeah, she just kind of slips in the back.
Oh, hell yeah. I got my ass waxed, baby. I go like this. She thinks it's funny, bro. I don't think it's funny at all. I ain't gay.
I've had mine waxed before. It doesn't hurt.
What?
You don't think?
I told you about this. When I did that role and the director kind of Me Too'd me.
Oh, God.
And I think you mentioned Hank Davis.
If I keep winning, that's something, a potential massive super fight that I'd be interested in. It'd be a really fun boxing match. I don't say fight.
Why? Because you think that you'd smoke them?
Let's make sure we're clarifying, like, there's rules. We're boxing. A fight, that's not entertainment. That's, we're boxing. Imagine. I sleep that dude. Suga Ali, baby.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Flagrant. And today we are joined by the great, the relentless, the inspiring Suga Sean O'Malley. What's up, Suga, I've been doing some research on you because, as you probably know, I'm the greatest MMA journalist in history.
Yeah, let's go.
So in order to be the greatest, you have to do some research. You are really interesting. This whole thing is planned.
Yeah.
This whole thing is coordinated. You're like if Tom Brady and Wiz Khalifa could be an athlete.
Wow.
Do you know how, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because the idea of Wiz is like he's just smoking all day, he's partying, he's doing whatever. But like I've seen Wiz in a green room, and this guy knows exactly what he's doing. He's polished, he's sharp, business game on. And I'm looking at this fucking, and I'm doing a little research, and I'm seeing you're like analyzing your dumps. You take a shit and then you have someone in the camp analyze the dump to make sure they're getting all the nutrients from the food.
Yeah, that's some great journalism.
Yeah.
yeah. A guy named Dan Garner does all my, he does my blood work, stool, my shit.
Yeah.
We've taken hair samples, saliva, piss, everything I can do that they can fucking do the science behind and see exactly kind of what I need to be eating and what I need to be avoiding.
Yeah.
Causing inflammation in my body. I'm trying to be the best that I can be, and I believe if I'm the best that I can be the best to ever do it eventually. So yeah, I'm not cutting any corners, and it kind of does look like I just kind of smoke weed and don't do too much stuff, but I'm doing everything right.
But that's part of the art of war.
Yeah.
Right? It's like I'm gonna fuck it up. I'm actually not even gonna try to get it right.
Pretend.
No, you got it.
Yeah,
no, you got it.
Charlemagne has probably said it a million times. But what is it? No, it's let your enemy think you're an idiot or something like that. Yeah. And because they don't know when they're going in the ring with you that you've been analyzing them dumps, bro.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like they definitely overlooked me, especially the next two guys in the main event this weekend or whenever this comes out, Aljo and Henry. I'm fighting the winner for the belt.
100%.
And I feel like they're both overlooking me. It's rare when you got a title fight coming up and no one gives a fuck. They care about who I'm fighting next.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting. You don't really see that too often where they're literally fighting to see who gets to fight me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm telling you, man, I was really impressed because it's such a all-encompassing thing, like fighting, that I imagine, like you were searching for optimization, but at the same time you're like, how do I get better at jiu-jitsu? How do I get better at wrestling? How do I get better at all these disciplines? I don't even have time to think about my sleep or fucking journaling or all these other things that I'm reading that you're doing. And to do the outside work, it either takes like an extreme arrogance where you're like, I don't even need to worry about that shit. I'm gonna fuck these guys up already. How can I get it? Or there's an insecurity. It's like, I need an advantage. How can I get it? Which one is it for me?
Ooh, that's pretty good. I'd say a little mixture of both, but I don't look at my neck. I don't look at Henry. I don't look at Aljo as like, I'm going to go smoke these dudes. It's going to be easy. I look at them like, these are going to be very tough fights. I need to make sure I'm doing everything right. Every little advantage I can get, I'm going to take. So.
At what level did that change? Which guy did you fight where you're like, it's different now. I can't just smoke these guys?
Well, I'd say probably I broke my foot in my second UFC fight and had a 2-year layoff. And in those 2 years, that's when I found Dan Garner, the one that does all my nutrition and stuff. I met Brandon Harris, who does my strength and conditioning. I never really did strength and conditioning. I was just a skinny dude, and I realized like I need to put on some muscle to grapple against these guys.
When you're grappling, Tim is doing most of the training, and
Tim's like he's like kind of my head coach. I feel like I'm kind of my head coach in a sense where I structure all my workouts.
Fuck him, bro. Like, don't give him credit. Like,
No, he
you don't need credit.
Tim holds mitts.
Oh,
No,
he can do that.
Yeah,
That's oh wow, look at me on 10.
And he'll take a fucking. If there's 2 chicks, he'll take the ugly one. So.
Listen, that's
Respect.
what you need though.
Yeah.
That's what you need. Now, I will say this: have you ever used his carnival connections because he grew up in the carnival to like bring in grapplers? Like, but instead of a grappler, it's like someone who could rip a phone book in half. Like just extreme
Retard strength.
Yes. Does he bring other retards in from the carnival for you to wrestle against?
Yeah, we need a sparring partner.
Tim. I feel like, no, I will say I think Tim pretty much won me in my last fight. Like there's clips of going into the second round where he gave me very good advice and changed the course of the fight. My whole team is just so fucking solid that I believe everyone kind of says I got the best team. I really do believe I have one of the best.
Who builds the team for a fighter? I'm like, actually, I want to go back even further. I want to go back to the beginning. You grew up in Montana. Did not see that coming.
Yeah. Me neither.
Okay. You don't want to go to college. You decide to go to Phoenix, and why Phoenix?
Yeah, I didn't want to go to fucking elementary school. I remember being like fighting that because it was like the half days in kindergarten. I hated school from day one.
From kindergarten, bro? It's coloring, dude.
Yeah.
Apps and shit. Apps and snacks.
No, yeah, I didn't like school in general. In high school, I loved sports, basketball, football, soccer. And not soccer, basketball, football in high school.
Bro.
I like soccer, but then I turned like 8, and I was like,
He couldn't hang.
Vaginas.
He couldn't hang, bro. That's what it is. The cardio wasn't there. He couldn't run.
exactly.
Okay,
Keep
go.
talking shit. He knows how to.
You're an American.
Let's do a PK shootout right now.
Bro.
You had to get good grades to play basketball and football. And
What
Yeah,
type
yeah,
of
in high
gay
school.
shit is
Yeah,
that?
I mean,
in
good
grades-
Montana?
Good grades
in high
is
school, in high
passing,
school.
dude.
Yeah, yeah.
It's passing.
yeah.
No pass, no play. It's not good grades.
You had to show up at school. Is that-
You
is that
had
what
to
you're
not
saying?
fail.
Yeah.
2.0.
That's fair. You had to go to school to play those sports. I didn't really like. I didn't like school. I didn't like that stuff. So I went to kickboxing. We went to a kickboxing gym
In Montana.
in Montana.
Montana kickboxing.
It's very low level as far as like. And I didn't know that at the time. So I'm fucking fighting. I'm knocking these dudes out. That guys that just absolutely suck. But I have this confidence. I build this confidence, which is really important for young fighters, I believe, is to gain that confidence. So I was knocking these guys out. Fast forward, I'm, 18, and Tim invites me to Arizona.
So Tim finds out about you?
Yeah, Tim's from Great Falls, Montana. He's an hour away, so I didn't know him. He fought on Bellator Fight Master. It was like this TV show. I'm sitting in my living room. I'm like, what the fuck? That guy's from Montana? Like,
Yeah.
I could do it. I wanted to be famous, and I wanted to be rich, and I wanted to get chick. That was my main motivation growing up.
What's the pussy like in Montana?
Preach.
Yeah.
Is it?
You have to be able to fight to get it. That's the rules.
Why? Because they're like bison?
No, it was, I lost my virginity when I was 16 to 18. I pulled. That was probably like my heydays, really.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
Pun intended.
Yeah. No, but Tim invited me. He went down to Great Falls. He was already living in Phoenix. I had a fight. I was 18. I beat this kid. Tim said, hey, if you want to come and train at a real gym in Arizona, let me know. And I hit him up like the next day. I came down to Arizona, got literally for 10 days. Every time I left practice, I was crying.
Did you think you were going to get your ass kicked like that? Or did you think I'm going
I
to fuck
did not
these guys
think.
up?
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Okay, so you're going into this gym. Are you sparring, or are you doing that kickboxing shit where like everybody spars in the same room?
Yeah,
That's some weird. It's like, you ever see like Mexicans play basketball on a pickup court?
No.
Oh, there's like 17 of them playing like 3-on-3 and 4-on-7. Like there's no like rules. That's what kickboxing sparring looks like to me.
A little bit. Now that you say, I can picture that. Yeah. I did that when I first got down to Phoenix.
I feel like you're not picturing it enough because it's really funny. Yeah. If you're really picturing it, you're dying laughing.
But yeah, you see it like, obviously if like in boxing, traditional sparring is there are two dudes in the ring, everybody's around the ring waiting to get their round and whatever. But kickboxing is this group.
Yeah, it's like sweaty. Everyone's grunting.
Yeah.
It's a sports orgy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's changed. It's changing a little bit. Well, growing up or coming up, you have to do that. You got to kind of just get your rounds in.
Yeah.
Kind of probably like comedy. You got to just do it. You got
100%.
You got to go beat up. You got to fucking take your lickings and.
So you got your ass kicked in
lot.
that
And
every single time.
kickboxing, and then when it came to wrestling, I didn't know how to fucking wrestle to save my life. So everyone in kickboxing, I would do okay. I would do all right, but when it came to like grappling days, I had zero chance. So I would leave the gym fucking crying, like, God damn it, this is not kind of.
Where are you sleeping? Guys, important tour announcement. I just want to say thank you guys so much for selling out all the shows in Phoenix, man. That was crazy. Gary, Indiana, sold out. Temecula sold out. Reno, we just added another show. Man, so go get the tickets for that while it lasts. And of course, Calgary, tickets still available for that show up there. And we got some more show announcements coming very soon. So stay tuned. Once again, thank you guys so much for getting the tickets to the show. And get them early. I see scalpers raping people for ticket prices out there. So get them early on the announce. I don't want you to get beat over the head by these scalpers. And yeah, theandrewschultz.com. Thank you guys so much, man. Peace. Where are you sleeping?
Tim and I was staying at, the first time I came down here, I was staying at Tim's apartment. This fucking, and just shitty apartment. And it was, yeah.
Were there any carnie creatures in there?
No, it was just him, so one.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I moved back. I went back to
Do you
Montana.
think
I was
he's
here for
down
10
to
days.
fuck the uglier girls
Yes.
because he's like...
Click on the draw on that one. Say less. Say less.
He was raised with like bearded ladies and shit, so maybe it's
I
not
don't know.
that bad for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think he just likes feeling like the man. So if like some chicks giving him the thing is, he's got a really good-looking girlfriend too. So he can pull some good-looking girls.
Yeah.
But he will take the one that's not so good-looking for the team. He says.
Yeah.
But really,
But it's Team Tim.
Yeah.
he says it's easier if they got like a fucked up mole or something. It makes it feel like they don't have to like try as hard, or it makes him feel more comfortable if they're like a little bit.
He's like a Ross shopper, but with women instead of
Exactly.
clothes.
Yeah.
I like
Not gonna lie.
imperfections.
Pay less shoes.
I remember when
Yeah.
I was younger, I went down to Argentina. I couldn't get laid to save my life, and by the last night, I was looking for a girl with like a small deformity that most
Yeah.
people.
Oh, like a shorter leg or something.
No, finger missing. So
that's good.
I would like look
That's
at
not too
girls'
bad.
hands and see, because if it's a pinky, nobody's gonna notice. My dick will look at least this
Yeah,
much bigger.
that's fair.
Yeah,
And then like, but she knows.
Yeah.
That she has 9 fingers.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
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 So did you find any 9 fingers?
No, but I found a girl that was fat, but she had one of those things
wiener?
that
That's what he was grabbing. He's like one of those.
one of those dick
like
things,
one of those
that you jerk
giant,
and then they get hard. It's so much more fun. No, she just had one of those like slims or whatever.
Girders
yeah,
or whatever?
yeah.
Yeah. So and when I took it off, I mean the seams were like tearing.
It's like open up one of those mattresses they ship you.
Yes, it was like yeah. This goes with our friend. Yeah, it was an insane little situation.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
You still took it down.
oh, of course. Yeah.
Argentina's known for their meat, dude. Come on, bro.
Okay.
So 10 days
So
in
you're
Phoenix.
staying with him in this decrepit apartment.
Did he dye your hair? Is that what it was? That's where it started? He's like, welcome to the carnival, dude.
No, not quite. But yeah, so I went back to Montana for like probably less than a year. Worked full time, saved up $2,000, and packed my car and drove to Phoenix.
What were you doing? What was the job?
It was actually really fun. I worked at a mentally disabled group home so there's 8 of them. The youngest was like
Sparring, or what
8.
were you doing?
Yeah, he's like, I just need more gym time. Let's get on the mats, baby.
It was a 2 for 1. Yeah, work, get paid, and work out.
Did you fuck up any of the dudes or
No,
what?
I drove the short bus though.
No.
That's kind of something I like to tell people. Yeah.
That's fire, dude.
So I would drive. I would bring them to work, kind of like peace out.
Work?
Yeah, they worked. Just like drop them off at somewhere. Like they're going.
Montana is freedom, bro.
Yeah, bro.
So what do they do?
I drove them off like a paper place. Like they just look fucking sort paper. I don't know what they actually did. I didn't go in. I dropped them off, and then I came back. I pick them up, and just kind of help them do their chores because they were. Some of them were like a little bit more. They could do some shit. Some of them really needed help. One of them would shit in this peanut butter jar and put it up in his room. That was fucked up.
Yeah, extra crunchy, dog.
Yeah, I didn't find it, but someone else did. They're like, "Why does your room smell like shit so bad?" And they would put them up in like little tiles. He'd shit in a peanut butter jar, put it on. Put it on.
That's why you started examining your shit.
Yeah, it's like mostly
They
gym.
onto something. That's onto something.
So you'd shit in a peanut butter jar, put it up in the tile so
Yeah.
nobody knows, and it would just
Yeah.
stink up his room.
I don't
Yeah,
think he
they
was
found-
retarded. I think he was an evil genius.
Yeah.
But that was actually a really rewarding job. I really liked that. But yeah, I saved up money, moved to Phoenix. Tim and I ended up getting.
Can I ask you a question? How much do you make being like a
A wrangler.
What?
I didn't want to say
Oh,
it, but yeah. How do you do it?
Fuck, that was probably 10 years ago. I was probably making minimum wage. I don't remember. I think I made like
I mean, you say
16
$2,000 in a year.
$1,200, $1,600 a month, probably something like that.
Wow, $400 a week
Something like that.
to really keep
Yeah.
it together.
Yeah, just drive the short bus. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Wow.
It was fun.
Underpaid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, great job. Honorable job.
If-
Great. You
if
go
I-
from
if I-
passenger to the driver. That's great.
If I had to go back to work right now, I'd probably go somewhere around there though. For
Really?
real. Those guys, hanging out with those guys, like hanging out with Tim all day. It's,
You feel at home.
it's like 8 Tims. It's like, but yeah, moved to Phoenix. Tim and I got an apartment.
So you have $2,000. That's it. Saved.
$2,000 saved up. Luckily in Montana, they really did kind of. It was like, you know, they really supported me. There was a couple like sponsors that I could get that would pay me like a couple $100 a month. And at the time, $200-300 a month, I was like, fuck yeah, that's going to this bill, that's going to this bill. So I never actually had to get a job when I moved to Phoenix. And I was able to train twice a day, which was fucking huge.
Right.
So Tim and I got a dumpy ass apartment, and I only had known Tim for those 10 days that I came down. Now we're moving in together. My mom did my laundry, dishes, I didn't know how to live on my own, and Tim had already been living on his own, so he's like, "What the fuck? This kid doesn't know shit." He's like having to tell me to like, "Hey, dude, you gotta fucking wash your bowl."
Yeah,
I
you
was
have to.
like,
Yeah, you have to shit
didn't-
in the toilet, not the jars. Like, yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, pretty much. But, so there's some learning curves there, but yeah, we lived together for a couple of years, and at the time his goal was getting UFC too, so we were just training, living that kind of like fighter lifestyle.
Sorry, there's a question from before this. When you were in high school, you said you knew you were going to be famous when between like 16 and 18, right?
That was the goal.
I thought you basically had like a revelation, like, oh, this is going to happen for me.
Well, I feel like I was younger, even in like middle school. I remember, I thought I was gonna be in the NFL. Until I realized I was white. Don't you hate that? Yeah, I did. No, I wanted to be in the NFL. And I was super delusional. I'm from Montana. Helen, Montana. There's like 17 fucking people there. So I didn't realize like that's not realistic. Wanted to be in the NBA,
Yeah.
realized that's not realistic. And I started kickboxing. I was naturally pretty good at it. I was athletic. And, I do believe some people are just fucking born fighters. Some people just know how to fight. And it kind of clicked for me. It's like, that's it. That's how I'm gonna do it.
Were you street fighting and stuff? Like,
No, I didn't like confrontation. I didn't like confrontation. I didn't like street fights. I avoided it. But really, like, I wanted to get chicks, money, and fame. Like, those were like the three things.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Now you're in Phoenix, okay? You're living with Tim. You're learning how to be an adult.
Yeah.
You're doing all these things. Tim is also trying to be in the UFC.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever spar?
No, he's a lot bigger.
But
So,
just for funsies.
just fucking around grappling more so, like jujitsu, wrestling, yeah, but like
But you
sparring.
never fuck him up a little bit?
No.
Wash my bowl, bitch.
No, probably opposite then.
Really?
No, Tim was always he was good and he was cool, but he was Jehovah's Witness too, so he had to been
No
like
way.
yeah.
How do they react when they knock on the door?
That's a good question.
he's like, yo, what's up, dude?
Yeah. I see you getting after it.
Yeah, respect.
No, he got disfellowshipped or whatever it is. So
Or?
because he got out the gang.
Stop witnessing.
Yeah, he stopped witnessing. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Did he ever try to get you in? Were you ever like, yo, let's start knocking
Yeah. No.
door to door?
No, he was out at that time, but yeah.
Okay, so you guys are in Phoenix. It's starting to happen. You're getting a few $100 from
Sponsors,
these sponsors in Montana. Family is supportive of this. You're starting to get better, I imagine. You're starting to get the better end of these exchanges with the kickboxing guys in Phoenix.
After years, like I didn't
really?
go down and it was like, all right, I'm starting to. It was like there was years of.
How old were you when you felt like, all right, now I'm getting
Dude, there's still guys that are like, give me troubles. I mean, we're at such a good gym. I train at Tim has his own gym in the MMA lab in Phoenix. There's guys in the UFC like there's still guys. And I'm never. If you ever go to a gym and you're just a fucking man, then you're not the wrong gym.
Right.
Like,
Right.
So there's still guys that give me trouble all the time. So we constantly are evolving at each other.
Right.
But yeah, there was a couple of years to where I was like I knew as long I was athletic and I could learn. I was like, if I go just keep going, I can get good. And then there was a time where I'm like, okay, I started getting better because I took it more serious. Like there was guys that would like work they would work and then go to the gym once a day. I was going twice a day and my main focus was becoming the best I could. So then, after a couple of years, I started catching up as far as skill wise.
So some people usually break down, right, when they reach a wall, right? They go, okay, I'm not good enough. I can't do it. What was the thing that made you push past that?
I think it was the chicks and the money. It's like that hunger for more.
Yeah. Pretty girls in Phoenix, too.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm curious, what did Tim see in you that he's like, even though he's getting washed in the gym, I'll still let him live with it?
Yeah, well, I think it's actually even before that before he saw me when I was 18 in Great Falls when he was commentating. Before that, he actually had saw me when I was 16 kickboxing in Helena. We never had any conversation. I didn't know that until he said, oh shit, I remember watching you kickbox when I was 16. And I did really good. And then 18, I knew like one thing of jiu-jitsu, and it was like an arm bar off my back. And I had fought this college wrestler that Tim knew. He's like, oh, this guy should beat Sean. He didn't know me very well at the time or at all. And I fucking arm barred this dude. And Tim was like, damn, that
Wrestler?
Yeah, arm barred this wrestler. And Tim, at the after party thing, he's like, hey, if you want to ever come down. That's when he asked me if I want to come down. So he just offered it. He had offered a bunch of like other people too. He said I was the only one that like kind of took it up.
Oh, that's
I was the only one that really kind of, you know,
Yeah.
took it to the
Let's
like,
go for it.
let's do it. I called him the next day. I'm like, when can I come down? He's like, holy shit, chill out.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Okay, so you're starting to get better.
Yeah.
At what point are you analyzing the fight game and going, this is what I have to do to be successful outside of just being a great fighter? Because we know there are great fighters, but they can't sell a ticket. And their careers are kind of stagnant because of it. And sometimes they fall out. And there are guys who are great fighters that also have a personality and find a way to get people invested. You're getting your ass kicked at the gym. Are you still analyzing how to have that persona that can garner interest and money?
It's a good question. It's so weird. I was so delusional when it came to like, I thought I was, because before Connor, no one had really kind of done that. And I was thinking I was going to be that guy. I thought I was just going to be, I don't know why. I had no
Connor
idea.
stole your shit in a lot of ways.
That's what I'm trying to say, yeah. No, I thought I was going to get in the UFC and just be this fucking celebrity character, like celebrity athlete. For whatever reason, I don't know. I didn't think I was like how, I knew I was knocking people out in spectacular fashion. Like I didn't know if it was going to be that, my good looks, my, no, I didn't know. I just thought I was going to be the fucking man for some reason. I really don't know why. But as far as like starting to kind of build a persona and like try to sell tickets and, you know, be someone that people want to care about, probably was probably like right before I got on the Contender Series when Snoop Dogg commentated. Did you see that? That shit kind of like, he started tagging me on Instagram, and that's when I started getting a couple followers, like 5,000 followers. Like, oh shit, and like I liked that. I was like, oh cool, and that's kind of like, yeah, when that started.
And then is it a calculated decision to lean in? Do you start going, I have to be more vibrant, I have to be bigger, I have to do these things with my hair? Does it organically kind of happen? Because everything else in your life is incredibly specific and disciplined, and it is a choice for optimization, right?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming the same thing is happening with your persona that's happening with your stool. Right? Like I'm so you're like, how can I extract the most of this? How can I be the biggest?
Yeah, it's funny too because I grew up. My dad was a detective, so smoking weed was like, I was terrified. Even in high school, like if guys were, I was like avoiding it. I wasn't around it. I thought it was horrible. Like I thought it was bad. So when I moved to Phoenix, Tim's like, take a fucking puff. Yeah. And I did. Yeah. And I remember like that first time I got high, I would laugh. And I'm like, this is what I was scared of. Like I just laughed. And I'm always go. So at night, I'd smoke and I'd be like, I'd kind of chill out.
Yeah.
I was like 19, which I don't recommend. I'd suggest if you are going to start smoking, you haven't. Wait till I think you're fully developed and you're like 25, whatever, 23, 25. Yeah. So I wouldn't recommend, because I know some people that smoke too much weed and they're fucking, you know.
Yeah.
But so I started smoking weed, and then when I started smoking weed, I always had this like I always thought like it was this horrible thing. So when I started smoking, I wanted to tell people like, whoa, it's not this bad thing. So I started kind of posting on my Instagram, and that's I kind of went from there. And then I really don't even smoke that much. I smoke every day, like every night. I'll hit my fucking bag or a King Palm or something. I'll smoke, and it'll be once at night. But people think I fucking smoke all day. Sometimes when I make funny ass videos,
You don't smoke all day, just daily.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's very different.
But so I kind of got this persona of like, oh, I'm just a huge pothead, and that's kind of where it came from. Because when I do smoke, I'll make a funny ass video on Instagram, like for a brand deal. And it'll do great, and that's just what people think I do all day.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah.
Hey, fuck it.
Yeah. There's a lot of people out there that smoke.
Yeah.
And now they're interested in their fighter.
Exactly.
Was that the time you kind of were like fucking with different drugs too, like mushrooms and shit like that back in the day?
Yeah, I definitely hadn't done anything like until I moved to Phoenix, and so Tim influenced me to do drugs.
Nice. So this guy's awesome.
Yeah. Yo, we need Tim.
I know,
Next time you come back, you gotta bring Tim.
We went out for his birthday to this country bar. We don't go out very often.
Yeah.
His birthday, I think he was like 32 or something.
He tried to fuck the mechanical bull again.
Yeah, not quite. I mean, might as well have. Fuck something.
I got this one, Suga. Don't worry. I'll take it down for you.
No. So we brought all the boys out. I have a group of guys that I met on Xbox.
Yeah.
And they all moved down to Phoenix, and I have a house that I rent out to them. And they fucking live in that. And they're our boys for like 2 years now. It's funny as fuck.
You met them gaming.
I met them gaming.
which
They're
game? Which
fucking
game? Halo?
characters. Call of Duty.
Oh, respect.
They're fucking characters. Schmitty's 6'7". He's fucking Brendan's his best friend. He's 5 foot. They're just opposite.
Yeah.
But there's 4 of them that live at this house. I take them out every once in a while. So we went out for Tim's birthday. Tim made some very poor decisions, and now he's sick. Yeah.
You have to stay back.
Yeah. So he got sick. He's so congested.
Oh yeah, that's the worst. That's me immediately after I drink, just like sinus infection.
Oh, really?
Yeah, especially beer. If I drink beer, I wake up just congested as fuck.
Yeah. Allergic to it, probably.
Yeah,
Sounds
probably.
like
It's
it.
poison.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tim made some bad decisions. He couldn't make it. He comes in Friday afternoon, but I know you're gonna be in Phoenix next week. Definitely
Yeah,
want
well,
him to
I'll
come
go
out.
hang.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I'll go bust you guys' ass in some Call of Duty if y'all want.
No, you won't.
He's literally never played.
No, you won't.
I've also never lost.
That's
That's
fair.
true,
That's a good
though.
point,
That's a
actually.
counterpoint.
Undefeated.
Undefeated
Yeah.
at Call of Duty.
Same.
I mean, the Xbox Live chat room is kind of the peak of friendship.
Yeah.
Like that.
And racism.
It changes when
Well,
you go.
yeah, that's friendship.
Yeah.
Like-
That's how you know your true friends are, right? The group chat friends.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't streamed in like 2 months, but I used to stream for like every day, probably 6-7 years, and so you couldn't be too crazy on there.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, I gotta be careful.
Now, okay, you start the podcast.
Yep.
You're doing all these things that, like, I remember talking to somebody about this. I forget who it was. I was like, oh yeah, this kid is the next generation of athlete.
Yeah.
Because you're doing all the promotional things that this generation of entertainers do.
Yeah.
Have the podcast, have the Instagram presence, be great on social media while also doing your thing in the
Yeah.
sport, right? But this is a choice. Like, are you sitting around with your contemporaries and you're going, yo, we should do a pod, are you planning the game in the same way that we kind of try to hack the game?
Yeah, I'll give Tim credit when the podcast, he was always kind of like, dude, let's do a podcast. And so he kind of, that's why we started, was the Timbo Sugar Show. He was always kind of wanting to do that. And we've been doing it like consistently once a week for like 5 years probably. So we've been doing it for a while, and it's easy because we recap UFC fights, and like so
Yeah.
we always have something to talk about,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then we kind of bullshit. But yeah, that was kind of more random. But then like the YouTube channel, doing all the reaction videos and finding out what kind of pops and like what's working, doing that stuff definitely planned. Like growing, clicks and views essentially is money.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely saw that a couple years ago, like, and continued to build, even Snapchat, YouTube, Instagram, all these platforms. Because yeah, you can't fight forever, and I definitely realize that, and I want to be able to make as much money as possible to where I never have to go fucking work at that.
That might be part of it, but yeah, I know you said when you started the motivation was money and chicks or whatever.
Yeah.
It seems like if you're optimizing this much, that's probably not the only motivation anymore. What is the motivation now? And
Now
what
it's-
changed?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's still kind of there. Yeah, it's still kind of there. The money and the chicks. The money's kind of always. Money's freedom.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I want to be. I've got a little piece of this life now. I'm like, damn. If I play it right, I can live this the rest of my life if I play it out right and do all that. But
What's your number? What's your I'm not working anymore now? And keep in mind that number will change.
Yeah. Well, I remember saying it from when I was pretty young. $100 million is kind of like where I want to make. But
Well, you were making $8 an hour corralling retards. You were like 100 million. I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, 100 million. I've always been
That's
optimistic.
a lot of corralling, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's like a lot of short
So
buses.
100 million cash or 100 million
that.
investment. So you got to make 200 to make the 100.
Yeah.
That's the.
I don't know if he thought about the taxes because I just looked at his eyes
I
when you
do
said that.
taxes.
Okay.
I'm on top of my taxes.
Okay.
Shout out my mama. She helps me make sure everything's fucking in order.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So 100 million is just kind of like it's like a number where it's so far out there that it's reachable.
Yep.
But it's also like we got to work for a long time. So I just like that number.
It's a good North Star.
But it will be. Yeah. It'll go up.
Think about that.
I
You got
do.
$100 million invested. Conservatively, you're making $5 million a year just off of the interest of that money. You think you can live off $5 million a year? Pretty good.
Getting there. Yeah, I think we can do it. We can do it. I live a pretty simple life back in Peoria, Arizona. Yeah,
Shout
Peoria,
out
West
to
Side
PTA.
Peoria.
You don't have to brag, dude.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You should see our fucking pod studio.
What?
Dude, it is in this fucking old shopping mall. It's just like fucking $1,200 a month for like 5,000 square feet.
You have a complex.
Yeah. Our place is like dump.
5,000 feet ain't bad.
That's what we have Tim's gym in there, and then we got our pod studio in there. But it's fucking Peoria, Arizona. Yeah, it's getting there.
Okay, so have you seen the bare knuckle fights?
I did. I watched it recently. Yeah.
Okay, thoughts?
I wouldn't do that shit.
It was Eddie Alvarez said something really interesting. He's like, "This is not for the athletes. This is
dogs.
for the dogs."
Yeah. Shout out Mike Perry, bro.
Yo, shout out Mike. Mike is so fucking funny.
He is, bro.
This guy's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Another one, so entertaining, but and a tough dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wonder if we're just drawn to the most savage form of combat that is not murder.
Yeah.
And because I remember ordering it up on my fucking phone. I think I was just finished a show or something like that, and I was just like, I just got to see what happens in this, and it lives up to it. And I'm curious, like, you wouldn't do it?
No.
100% no. Why not?
I like it. I like the athletic chess game of fighting to where, like Eddie said, it's for the dog. That's just like who's the, I don't know. It's just.
But didn't you have a problem with UFC when you first saw it? Didn't you think it was too brutal when you first?
I did. When I was like, I remember being like 10, 11, 12, something around that age group. My dad was watching fighting, and I thought it was fucked up, and my mom hated it too. And I wanted to watch something else on the TV, so I was like, Mom, Dad's watching fighting again, and my mom's yelling at my dad, change it. But I remember, I was like, I don't understand how they can kick each other in the ribs and punch each other in the face, and how I just didn't get it as a sport, which is really fucking crazy to think about now. But I remember that vividly, like telling on my dad for watching the UFC.
Yeah.
So weird.
Snitching.
But bare knuckle, I don't know if it's going to be as. I think it has potential to grow, but I don't know if it's going to peak out much bigger than it is right now.
It seems like all of the biggest bare knuckle matches are still kind of drafting off of UFC fame.
Yeah.
Right? So it's almost like watching Cristiano Ronaldo. He's a soccer player. I know you don't fuck with that shit, but watching him play in Saudi Arabia, it's like we're still gonna watch, but it's maybe not the peak level. But it is a fascinating thing to see because at the end of it in the press conferences, like their hands are gone.
Yeah. How many times can you fight? Like you're gonna break your hand probably every fight.
Every single fight.
And how many times can you do that?
I would assume. I assume that, yeah.
No, I'm joking.
No. Like, I mean, I think it happens. Like, I think you do that. You can't break your hand 10 fucking times and then just keep fighting.
Just keep doing it.
I think if they get better with the branding and promotion, that grows just as big, if not bigger than UFC.
Interesting.
Really?
Well,
Think about how many times you open your social media and watch a street fight. How entertaining the fight is.
Yeah.
That's a bare knuckle fight.
Yeah.
The broken hand thing is a good point, but what I was thinking initially is boxers probably thought about UFC. This is barbaric. There's not a chest.
Yeah, remember
to
the
it,
early days of
strategy
UFC?
to
They were
it.
like, it was kind of like a sideshow. Where,
And
like,
also,
you'd have,
everybody would fight everybody.
Yeah,
Fucking
mismatch,
massive people would
yeah,
fight.
yeah.
Yeah, fat guy, skinny guy is always fun.
Yeah. But to that point, that could happen with bare knuckle
100%.
boxing. But I didn't think about the broken hand thing. Yeah, you can only break your hand so much.
I'm with you. I think the genius of UFC, obviously it has top athletes now, but they really are curating the identities of fighters in a way that like boxing completely messed up.
Yeah.
It's clear that Dana came from boxing and these guys came from boxing. They're like, what's wrong with this? And I do understand that there are people that like push back and there are people that are upset about the structure of it. But at the same time, if you're willing to do what you're doing, what Izzy's doing, what Connor did, you can make unbelievable amounts of money and have unbelievable success. There is an organization dedicated to making you look amazing.
Yeah.
Cutting clips of every single thing you do.
Yeah.
In boxing, you got to do that yourself.
Yeah.
You got to hire your video team. You got to do it. The UFC, if you knock somebody out, please believe it is on Sports Center.
slow-mo, fucking 8K.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
So I think that is a good. Now I know it seems like I'm shilling for the UFC, but I come from boxing where I've seen these guys who are spectacular. Maybe they don't speak English and they don't have a fucking shot, dude.
Yeah.
Unless they have a team, like a powerful management team that can hire those people, promote them, get them on different platforms, they don't have a fucking shot, man.
Yeah, that sucked. That's what I'm saying about when I was coming up in the UFC, not necessarily getting paid like what people are like, oh, you should be making this. Like, yeah, I'm all right. They're giving me this crazy fucking platform. And
You're going to get your money.
And I'm going to get, exactly, I'm going to get it. And, but yeah, no, I agree. UFC, Dana, those guys fucking know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But bare knuckle, they very well could, like, grow, but we'll see.
All right, guys, let's take a break for a second. You already know what time it is because you see the lighting. It's hard dick time, okay? Hard dick time brought to you by Blue Chew. Same active ingredients as inside Viagra, Cialis, but this is the chew. This is the one that we rock with, okay? This one that you're up all night with, okay? Pleasure in your wife, pleasure in your side chick, pleasure in that girl that you just met. This is the pleasure pill. The ladies deserve it. They've been walking around in heels all night long. You don't think they want to hop on their back for a second, get it blasted wide open, sticky? Yes, they do, consensually. My point is that if you want the chew, right now you're going to get it for free. All you got to do is pay $5 shipping. BlueChew.com, okay? Make sure you use the promo code FLAGRANT. You get your first month free. All you got to do is $5 shipping. Do it. Let's get back to the show. All right, guys, let's take a break for a second. You know what I saw yesterday? I saw a little fender bender. I saw a car accident. I saw somebody that was not driving responsibly. And because they were not driving responsibly, potentially hurt someone else. Do you know what that person could be entitled to? Plenty of money in damages, okay? You could be that person too. I hope you're not involved in some accident in the future, not only car accident, it could be any type of accident. I really genuinely hope you're not. But if someone else's irresponsibility costs you time, costs you money, you could be able to make that money back. And you know who's gonna help you do that potentially? It's Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. They have over 100 offices nationwide and more than 800 lawyers with over $15 billion recovered for clients. Morgan & Morgan has a proven track record of fighting to get you full and fair compensation. Listen, submitting an injury claim with Morgan & Morgan is so easy, it's more like using an app. If you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless they win. Think about that. You're not paying them unless you win. For more information, just go to forthepeople.com/flagrant or dial #law. That's #529 from your cell phone. That is forthepeople.com/flagrant or #law, #529 from your cell. Now let's get back to the show.
But you mentioned boxing before, that like you like boxing a little and you've done a little bit. And I think you mentioned like Tank Davis before was not, you said he wasn't a pay-per-view draw. But now, after the fight, do you think that's changed a little?
So I don't think I think the reason they did big pay-per-views, obviously, because it was Ryan Garcia, Gervonta. It was a big, both semi-big names. I think Ryan might have been a little bit bigger of a name. But yeah, that fight might have put him over the top to where he's like, he could be that guy for boxing. And I've been saying it for years. I would love to. Conor fought Floyd. I was fucking all about it. I watched every time they did a press conference. I loved it. I loved how massive that was. And I've always wanted to be a part of something like that. And me versus Gervonta, if I keep winning, I'm the champ. I got to be the champ, potentially the double champ, and he's got to continue to win and be undefeated and be great in his sport for the next 5 years. That's something, a potential massive super fight that I'll be interested in.
Yeah, and you like that one.
I do.
Tank.
Davis.
Yeah, Gervonta, I mean, he's good. He's fucking really good.
He's really
I mean, yeah, buddy, what the fuck are you talking about? What's going on here?
But that's how people
This is your brain, man.
That's what people were saying when I was 18, saying I was going to be in the UFC. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's what they said with Yan.
So that's what they said
the
with
same
Yan.
thing.
So when people say that, it doesn't, I'm like, it doesn't really affect me. It doesn't really, I like that. I like when people doubt me.
motivation.
I loved when people were,
You're welcome.
When I'm on, like, I'll write you the check. I remember being on the treadmill, you know, every time I was doing my sprints, watching the same videos of people saying, like, Peter was, what are we doing here? Why is Sean? He's ranked number 11, fighting the number 1 guy. Peter's going to kill him. This isn't, you know, I like seeing that.
I thought that was their sink or swim fight for you.
Yeah.
I thought the UFC sat down there like, let's see if this kid actually got it.
Well, I was telling UFC, I'm like, I want this fight. I've been asking for that fight for a while.
Oh, really?
So I've been asking for a big fight for a while. UFC's doing their thing, and you know, they're very smart. Sean Shelby's a smart guy.
What surprised you about Yan?
I don't know if he shot more than I thought he was going to, but I do think that was just because I think I was longer than he thought I was going to be, a little bit faster than he thought I was going to be.
And good distance management.
Yeah, I don't think he was planning on that. I thought he was going to I think he thought he was going to come in there, get inside, and piece me up. And so he did shoot more than I thought he was going to. Unlike someone like Aljo or Henry, I'd plan on them kind of shooting more. So he shot more than I thought he was going to. That surprised me. He has a really good body kick from opposite stance. So if I'm southpaw and he's orthodox, he has a really quick body kick, no load up. He landed that a couple times. Just tough little fucking Russian. It was just so cool to be in there with that dude.
I remember watching him earlier, and I was like, "This is the best striker in the UFC." I really thought that.
Yeah.
And I just thought that his ability to like manage distance was brilliant. And again, I'm coming into UFC from like boxing. Like I love like lifelong boxing fan. And I remember seeing him. I'm like, this guy's not long. He's got these kind of short little arms, short little body, but his ability to get in and out and manage that distance. And I remember seeing that even the first round. I remember going, oh, he took these big looping right and left hands. You see that?
Yeah.
And it was missing both. And I think after that, he's like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to touch this kid.
Yeah.
And he was going into the danger zone. And then you fucking caught him.
We caught each other at like right.
That's right. He clipped you too.
Yeah, that was the hardest I've ever been hit. And rewatching it now, like when they do the slow mo, like that hit me
Flush.
Perfect shot.
Yeah.
And I ate that, and it was all within like a minute because I rocked him, and he recovered nicely. I actually dropped him at one point, nothing crazy, but it kind of dropped him to his knees, and then he cracked me back. Just like that minute from the first minute in the second round was fucking just so fun to watch. Watch it so many times.
Bro, that's a scary thing to find out when you're a fighter, though, that you have a beard.
Yeah.
Because
I've never been hit like that. I didn't know. I mean, I've been hitting the gym pretty hard. I've been cracked. I've been like, okay, I can take a shot.
Did it
I'm not gonna
intimidate you
fold.
when you went back to your corner? Like, fuck, that was a good one.
It's all kind of a blur. You kind of almost black out in a sense, especially after you get hit. Like the whole fight in general, even if you go in there and don't get hit, it's kind of like a weird
Like fog of war.
memory. But after getting cracked like that, getting concussed, I mean, basically got knocked out without getting knocked out.
Yeah.
And so it was all kind of a blur, but I don't remember, like going into the third round. So after he rocked me, he took me down and like kind of ended on my back in the second round where I think I kind of recovered. So going into that third round, I still felt pretty sharp and felt good, but yeah.
landing the knee.
Felt good. Cutting him open like that.
I mean,
I threw a second
Ginsu.
knee. Oh, I threw a second knee that fucking would about took his head off. Shortly after that, he was up against the fence. I threw a combo with a knee right up the middle, and it went right by his head. That one would put his
lands,
lights
he's
out.
out.
That
That's
would have
it.
put his lights out. Oh,
For the highlight, bro.
this one's for Henry though. I'm saving that one for Henry.
really?
Yeah.
So you think okay, so let's say you have a guy like Henry,
Yeah.
right? Do you think Henry beats Aljo? Yeah, what do you think about this fight?
I've been going back and forth. I'd like to fight Henry
Aljo's
next.
fucking
good.
Aljo is really good,
Yeah,
man.
but potentially cutting too much weight. He's a big guy.
He got big.
He's a big fucking guy.
He's
So
a beefcake too. That body is incredible.
Yeah, I'm
I've
jealous.
Yeah,
I'm like,
same though.
but I'm also almost 6 foot. And he's not. So it's like
This is true.
Yeah, and then Henry's like literally 5'4". This dude's fucking not big, but he's thick. But Aljo, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if Aljo's gonna cut too much weight and it's gonna affect him. But even if it goes out there and gets the job done against Henry, you got to turn around. We're fighting shortly after that, so he's gonna have to cut weight again. So he's got to stay ready because I fought last fight was October, so I'm ready to go. It's September or August, September, one of those months we're getting it on. So he's gonna have to fight and then cut weight again in a couple months.
So what do you think happens this weekend?
I'd like Henry to win because I'd rather fight Henry.
And why do you prefer him?
I've wanted to fight Henry for a long time
legacy
before
play?
he retired, and I do believe if Henry goes out there and beats Aljo, he's considered one of the GOATs.
Because that would be, what did he get? His first belt at one.
He got 35, then he went down to, he got it at 25, went up to 35, retired, would come back, get the belt again, and he'd be top 3 combat athletes of all time.
100%.
And I go out there and beat him.
Oof.
It just puts me on
Big
top.
time.
People be so mad. They'd be so mad.
Big time. Okay, so let's assume, which I don't think it is going to go this way, but let's assume that Henry wins. You're fighting a guy who has wrestling, the top of the top.
Yeah.
Right? This is not your strength.
I'll take him down though. I could.
Okay,
Hey, fighting's a different sport.
Okay.
Fighting's a different sport.
Talk to me here.
You said you only strike in camp, right? Like,
I mean,
a lot of it is
I
groundwork.
only pretty much.
That's that art of war
I just
shit.
grapple.
I believe this motherfucker.
Hey,
Dude,
watch
I
me
can
put
play
him on
right
his
now?
back. Watch me put him on his back.
Okay, so you're taking
I
Henry
could
down.
if I wanted to in a fight, not in wrestling, not straight wrestling. In a fight, you're telling me I cracked this dude and he doesn't know where he's at, and I fucking slip behind him, and now he's on his back, and like, God damn it, this guy took me down. I could lose the fight at that point, and I don't give a fuck. He won't be able to sleep at night. That little fucker will be so mad.
So that's a huge deal for wrestlers, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Being taken down.
Oh yeah, especially by me.
Yeah.
Colorful hair, like tall, skinny. Don't like me. You know what? He called me a fake American,
Wait, why? You're
Yes.
from Montana.
bro. Yeah, I don't know.
Doesn't get more
I
American.
don't think he meant to.
Yeah,
say
you're
that.
a real make America great again.
Yeah. He called me a fake American the other day.
Why?
And he named his. I don't like bringing families and shit into this, but he named his daughter America. And you guys don't got to say nothing on that, but I'm like, this dude's from Mexico. You know,
Yeah.
like, what are we doing here? So
So you're taking him down.
if I want,
Yeah. Really?
yeah,
So, but you think you win that fight by just outpointing him?
I think I could catch Henry. I could sleep him. He's gonna have to get inside. He's gonna have to. How is he gonna
take
take
a
me
risk.
down?
Yeah.
Without getting inside, getting in my legs.
Yeah.
You're gonna eat a knee up the middle. I've knocked a lot of short people out. You thought I was gonna say Mexicans, huh? But Mexicans. No, honestly,
Same
That's
to
why I went to
same.
Phoenix. I get it now.
Same to same.
no, Mexicans, I will give them that. They are fucking hard
Tough,
to put
man.
out, dude. They
Tough.
have them chins on them, but the real Mexicans, I don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think his is gonna be a little weaker.
Yeah.
And he's been out. He's 36. He's been
You're
out the
calling him
game.
not a real Mexican. Yeah,
Ish,
you're
you
throwing
know?
it back.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Talk that shit. Boy, talk that
I think
shit.
it's like social media already doesn't like this guy. He's fucking cringy,
Yeah.
and he tries to play it off. He tries to like play into it, and almost makes it worse. And then just the way he talks, and he used to be like God guy. Like, but a little bit, like, when he first got in the UFC, he was all about God, and then kind of switched over to where he would kind of stop because he realized people were like,
Yeah,
it's
we
like,
don't.
quit with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not it. So he switched over from that, and now he's just this, and just, it's not a good look. People want to see Henry get slapped by me.
And then if Aljo wins.
If Aljo wins, same thing. We're fighting in September, August. He better be ready to cut weight again. I know he likes to, get big because he's saying he wants me next and then wants to move up to 45. But he also is going out there and saying he might just go up to 45 after this fight.
So if he goes up, you would fight Merab?
Or Merab or Cory would be my guess.
Dude, the fight between you and Cory
Yeah.
would be
That's big.
so fun.
Yeah, Cory's fucking good.
He's
very
really good.
Yeah.
Just stylistically, you
Yeah.
guys are really interesting strikers.
Similar but different strikers.
I think very different. I mean, you have, I think, similar IQ, but in the way that it's approached, like very different.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be so much fun.
fun.
Just from like a super fight fan,
Yeah.
striking IQ perspective.
We'll fight eventually. He's gonna stick around the top. That dude's good. He's in it. He's not fucking around on the
Yeah.
outside. He's in it. I'm in it. So we're gonna fight regardless whether it's next 2 fights, 3 fights. Like we'll fight. And that's gonna be that'll be a big.
Okay, and then what about one more time? This could arguably be battle of the best dressed guy in the UFC. You rematch with Chito.
Dude, he's saying.
Yo, Cheeto's one of the best dressed guys in the UFC. I mean, honestly, Chito might be the best dressed guy in the UFC. I'm not playing.
Pull him up.
Yo, the swag.
I know you're a comedian, so I don't know if you're.
No, I'm being dead ass. The swag is crazy on Cheeto.
Right now, to fit his fight,
Come
I
on.
fuck
But I said it's battle.
His march
That ain't
too.
even close.
No, dude,
Look,
Cheeto
he's wearing yellow short. No, I'm just-
in the ring.
We gotta.
No,
we gotta find-
Cheeto is dripped. I'm telling you,
I
bro.
don't got nothing against Chito. We're gonna have a sweet fight in the future.
You think you get the belt first and then that happens?
Yeah, of course.
And
Look
he's-
at this guy. What do you mean he's fucking? He looks like he's going to church.
Well, look right there.
I get it.
That's
See, that's a motherfucker I can dress.
Yeah. The White Coast fire, bro.
No, yeah. Chito and I are gonna have a sweet fight. It's gonna be a great rematch. The first fight obviously played out the way it played out, and I'm excited. I think that just builds for a massive fight,
Yes.
which works out because I claim to be undefeated. People fucking lost their minds when I came out. I was like, I didn't lose that fight.
Keep doing that.
That wasn't a fucking. I didn't lose that fight because he was better than me. Skill wise, a freak accident happened. He kicked me in this perennial nerve. My foot rolled like 7 times.
That's happened to a bunch of guys.
I would say a bunch. That's my
that happened to Izzy
argument.
against
Izzy,
the
yeah.
Pereira fight.
Yeah.
Kind of. It was different. I think his was more like an actual calf kick to where this calf goes numb, the muscle goes numb. This was there's a little nerve somewhere in your fucking knee.
Yeah.
Like if you hit it, my foot, I couldn't flex it. I couldn't do this. So I was rolling my ankle like 7 times while piecing him up. I was still
Actually happened to Henry in a fight.
It did, yeah. And his came back, Demetrius.
Yes, I mean, it's Demetrius Johnson, But I've seen this happen a few times, so I guess there is a nerve in the knee that controls
nerve.
the perennial
Is that
nerve.
strategic? Like, are people trying to hit that
That's what I'm
specifically?
saying. I'm like, why that motherfucker hasn't done it again? Why didn't he kick Jose Aldo? Why did he let Jose Aldo beat him? Why didn't he kick him in the nerve? Why has he never done that kick again? That's what I'm saying. In the UFC, how many thousands of kicks, how many times they kick that nerve? Very rarely. Very rarely does that nerve get kicked. That was my defense. I'm like, this shit was fucking a fluke. You guys call it what you want. I'll get that fight back. I'm excited for that fight. There's a lot of big fights. Me versus anybody in the division's a big fight, which is exciting for me. And the bantamweight division is the best division in the UFC right now, hands down. In my humble opinion.
Is there any plan? What's the highest you could go up?
145, 155. You're getting up there with some big bastards. Like you're getting up there with some big boys.
How tall are you?
5'11", 6 foot. Sometimes.
That's the thing. You have a frame.
You get the lifts going.
I'm 5'8" sometimes.
What do you walk around?
158.
158.
Yeah, and I eat clean all year round. I eat a pretty clean diet all year round. If I want to start lifting, bulking up, eating more, I get up to. I feel like I can put on some weight pretty easily.
So it's not that hard for you to get down to 135.
It's not easy. It's fucking not easy. It takes, I'll diet hard. Like I diet year round as far as like eating clean.
Yeah.
But I can eat a little bit more. But 10 weeks out from fight day, I'm dialing it in, eating a little bit, watching my calorie intake more. So it does take a level of discipline that it's not easy to make weight.
What's the week before the fight like diet-wise for you? When are you taking off those last painful 4 pounds?
Oh, the last painful 4. So I'll probably be like 152 going into fight week so I'll cut down from water load, 2 gallons, cut water. I've got it fucking down. Dan Garner writes me up a meal plan. I eat it, drink the water, just do it, and it comes off. I just trust the process.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa. Has there ever been a situation where you're like 1 pound over or something like that, and you just have to put on the sweatsuit or
jerk off like Izzy?
Oh yeah, Izzy's.
I've tried that at night. I'm like, God,
You found out how much your load weighs?
Yeah, it doesn't really affect the scales much. But yeah, every time it's just like, get these last fucking couple pounds off.
When you're recovering after cutting 17 pounds the week of the fight, a lot of this was made. There's a lot of people talking about Ryan Garcia and rehydration clause, etc. Like, how much time do you really need to get back to normal after the weigh-in? Because the weigh-in is the day before in the morning usually.
Yep. Yeah.
Are you by that evening good to go?
As far as physically, no, you'll fucking you're definitely. So I'll weigh in at 136, 135 next fight, championship weight.
Yeah.
I'll be up to 158 that night.
Fuck.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 13 pounds comes on.
Yeah. Well, I'll be 20.
23.
23.
Oh, 50.
136 to
I'll be up
135 to 158. 23
that
pounds in
night.
one day. How the fuck is that even possible?
It's just water, food.
Yeah, a lot of water, lots of liquids and carbs, and eating good. But the actual time, then you shit a couple times, and then the day I walk into the cage around 154, 153.
Wow.
So, but that night you're at
A
fully.
big, yeah.
How much is...
A lot of that's normal. I would say that's probably normal.
But
for a guy.
Yeah, I've heard about this, but and I'm trying to understand. Is it simply just your body bloating because it's been so deprived with water?
I think a lot of it's the liquids. Yeah, when you're on scale, you could give a fuck less about any food. You just want water. Your lips are dry. You can hardly talk. Your voice is raspy. You just want water. And you're supposed to drink, rehydrate quite a bit. So I think that's kind of where.
Here's where my brain is struggling. Is 16 ounces is a pound.
Yeah.
So a 16-ounce bottle of water is a pound. Are you doing 23 of those? It's like 7 gallons of water, whatever the fuck that is.
What is 8 pounds for a gallon? Is that what it is? Something like that. Something like that.
No, I think it's 4. Is it 8?
Mask.
Yeah, I think it might be 8. Yeah, it might be 8.
Gotta ask Gardner about that.
So how much
Yeah.
water do you consume before weigh-ins? Like
Before weigh-in, zero.
When
But
are you
like,
cutting out?
yeah, when do
do
you
you
stop
stop eating,
drinking?
stop drinking?
So Thursday, which is today, right now,
Yeah.
so those guys are probably sipping minimal water. Like if you have to drink some water, you will. There's a press conference today. Thursday they got a press conference, so I would do some coffee, just a little bit of caffeine, get me trying to spit some shit on the mic a little bit of water, but not too much because you know you're gonna have to go cut that weight tonight. So Thursday night's where you're gonna cut the majority of the weight, 8, 9, 10 pounds, and then in the morning, everyone does it different. Some people cut it all tonight, and then you don't sleep. You will not fucking sleep.
Really?
Thursday night, no.
Why?
But what's that?
Why?
Just because you're fucking hungry, you're thirsty, your body's just like in starvation mode. You're kind of freaking out. I always talk to my body. I let them know, like kind of almost like a spiritual thing. Hey, we're cutting weight, trying to like we're all right.
Like also
You're-
meditation shit.
Yeah,
kinda?
it's scary. It gets scary to a point. Like when you're cutting those last few pounds, it's fucking. You feel like you're dying.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. Like if you've never done it before, it's like a scary feeling. Your heart rate's going real high. But yeah, for the most part, I'll cut most of the weight tonight, and then I'll wake up in the morning and cut 3-4 pounds so I can sleep a little bit.
Whoa. And do you do weed at all in there?
No, I cut weed out mostly like 3 weeks out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get those munchies going, bro. That's a wrap.
Yeah, it's really honestly like a big reason too. It's you can't snack.
Yeah, that Taco
Like,
Bell
those-
commercial comes up. You're like, oh, I'm about to throw it all away, bro.
Right? Yeah. Fucking
Gordita
check,
crunch time.
right? Little beefy 5-layer.
Yeah. Oh, that's the order every time?
Used to
Respect.
be, yeah.
So respect.
So you have to go in Thursday night, entertain at a press conference.
Ridiculous.
While you're dying.
Yeah.
All of everyone up there. See, I mean, like you see everyone up there cutting weight. Besides the heavyweights, they don't got to. But yeah, everyone's cutting weight up there Thursday.
I never thought about that. I mean, like, I know when I'm hungry, my brain doesn't function well.
Yeah.
And me being hungry means I didn't eat in 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine
weird.
having zingers, being entertaining, calling people out when
Yeah.
the only thing you're thinking of is water, and they place a jug of it in
Yep.
front of you
Monster
on the
water
table
right there.
Damn.
And you can sip it a little bit, but you just know you're gonna have to cut more.
Anything you
Yeah.
put in?
It's
Yeah.
going to be more
Gotta come out.
painful later.
Yeah.
And what's
You're
the
just-
best form of cutting for you? Like what type of exercise?
tub.
Oh, the hot tub.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll work out. I'll get a sweatsuit on first, work out, hit mids. Pretty light. At that point, you don't fucking, the last thing you want to do is work out. So you kind of like move around, just get a sweat going for like 20, 30 minutes, ride the bike, get a sweat going, and then go sit in the hot tub, sauna.
So what is the idea with the hot tub? It's just
hot.
you're just
It's hot.
The first part.
so it's just perspiration.
Fucking
You're just sweating.
sweating it out.
Yeah.
You'll do 3 minute, 15-minute rotations, check your weight, see where you're at, kind of go from there.
Oh,
it's
wow.
fucked. I don't know why. Like if I naturally fought at my weight cuts, I'd be a 55er, right? I'm walking around 56, 57. I would fight at 155. If I decided to do that, I'm gonna fight guys like Justin Gaethje, like,
Who are walking around
I'm
at
good.
180.
Yeah. I'm gonna fight Islam Makhachev or something. Like Charles Oliveira. Like
Yeah.
that ain't fucking. I ain't doing that. So if you don't really have a choice. I go down. I feel like I could have success at fighting at 145 right now.
Yeah.
I feel like my best chance of becoming champs at 135 right now. That's obviously why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But I have the build and the skills to fight and compete at 145.
Who's 145 champ?
Volkanovski, pound for pound.
Who's-
Alexander Volkanovski.
Oh, Volk, of course. Yeah. Oh my God,
Yeah.
dude, Volk fighting.
is a motherfucker.
Dude, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, craziest cardio I've ever. I mean, him versus Islam, him versus
Dude, him exhausting Islam, ending the fight on top.
Crazy.
beautiful.
I
That shit
don't know
was
why they didn't run that right back. I think he wins that easy. I mean, I'm a huge Max Holloway fan,
Yeah.
but seeing the way that Volk adjusted from the first to the third fight,
Goat shit.
crazy. Yeah.
Are they protecting Islam?
I don't know if they're. I think Yair just won the belt that same night.
Yair deserves it too.
Yeah.
But still, like the big money, the big attention fight is Volk versus Islam, and it's undecided.
Yeah, I mean, depending on how much interest is there, I think you can't hold up both divisions, 55 and 45, and redo it. I think you got to do something with the 45. Yair had just won the belt the same night
Yeah.
as an interim champ. So if he goes and defends that belt, it's like then Alex isn't really champ. Alex probably wants to stay champ, so he's got to do it. But they could run that back.
Yeah, that's wild.
So so if you come up to 45,
All right, boys.
you know it could be kind of fun. You against Yair at 45.
Yeah, no, those are definitely possibilities. Like, I mean, he's not. He probably does weigh 5, 6. I might be 10 pounds bigger. But that's because I'm maintaining my weight right now. I'm trying to maintain this weight so I can fight at 35. That's definitely an interesting fight in the future. Yair's a motherfucker too. Yeah.
Now, something you mentioned in your camps that you always like stress, I feel like more than other fighters, is sleep and cold plunging specifically.
Yeah.
You're just like, yo, those like you were an OG cold plunger before it became a trend.
Yeah.
Is that still the same regimen?
Yeah. I got the cold plunge. I've probably been cold plunging for 5-6 years now, so it's like I feel like there's multiple trends, but now it's just like everyone fucking I cold plunge. But yeah, I've been the old freezer chest, plug it in, fill it up with water, getting in that, and like doing that religiously every night is a big part of. It used to just kind of be like part of camp, but it's really just part of my life now.
Yeah, like even on the road and shit, you're like
on the road. It's hard, it's hard to you can't really cold plunge.
Yeah,
but at home is like fucking 100%. And then sleeping. Fucking sleep's the number one performance enhancing anything there is. Sleep
I like
is
that.
the number one thing. You could fucking have 2 really good training sessions in the day, go home and not sleep for shit. You're gonna be those training sessions.
This might be more art of war shit, bro. This is like stoner fighter mentality. You're like, dude, you know what? I like sleeping.
Now, I remember seeing a LeBron clip where someone asked him about his sleep, and he was like, I slept from 12 to 8 last night. Then I got up, had breakfast from 8 to 8:30. Then I slept again until 12:30.
Jesus, yeah, sleeping is a fucking superpower, and I learned all these healthy habits to become a really good fighter. And I realized I'm like, this is just how to be like a healthy human. Like, this is just what you need for anxiety. People are like, I'm anxious. Like, well, you're fucking staring at your phone at 11:30. Like, I can't fucking sleep.
That's me.
Like,
yeah.
There's answers to all these problems, and people are just don't want to do the
How
solution.
would you suggest Akaash?
Yeah, you got to fix him, bro.
Akaash has huge sleeping issues.
Yeah.
I can fix that shit, I feel like.
All right, let's go.
Like a life coach.
Left
go.
hand.
No, I mean, a lot of it's caffeine intake. Caffeine has like a half-life of 8 hours or something. So you drink 200 milligrams of caffeine at noon. In 8 hours, you still have 100
milligrams in the system.
So the caffeine has a pretty high half-life, so you gotta be careful with when you're consuming caffeine. Blue light, fucking watching shit all night. It's not gonna fucking help.
I go yellow light. I have the blue light basically off my iPhone. You can like set hours. And it's on from like.
You
12
think that does anything?
I think
7.
it could help.
That's what I don't. But
if
I
you're
think
just watching
any light.
TikTok for 4 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Blue
But
light,
it's
though.
yellow though. It's not bad. I'm like, dude, I tried the same shit.
I know. I think it's bullshit.
Just makes the screen look
The
dumb.
blue light thing,
Yeah.
I convince myself, and then when I don't sleep the next morning, I'm like, you're a fucking retard. This doesn't mean anything. But at night, I'm like, well, you gotta read ESPN.com. Put the yellow light on.
Yeah. No, preparing for sleep is a real thing. Like, that's where the cold plunge kind of comes in as like a meditation. Go outside, chill for 10 minutes. You guys can't really, it's different in New York. Peoria is, a different world. It's like in 2 different fucking worlds. Here would be like, I feel like there's just a level of anxiety in New York
100%.
that's just like a baseline
100%.
higher than other places.
And they convince themselves it's good. It's really fucking
It
good.
is.
It's amazing.
Hey,
It's amazing. I
It's
sleep
not
like a
healthy,
baby.
but it's good because it makes you go.
Like
There's no
Taco Bell,
relaxation.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Makes you go,
Yeah,
shit.
you will go.
Like, I mean that. Like
I
you're
get that,
walking,
though.
you were here. You feel the energy. You're like, I need to do things.
Go
I
time.
need to go. It is go.
Yeah.
I felt that when I was walking around today. I was like, God, there's just this buzz around
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
And I do like.
And it's
I
raining
like it.
today.
Yeah.
I like
Think
that.
about that.
The
People
buzz
ain't
is
even in the
just
streets.
anxiety. It's like, yes,
what
you're
And
right.
Adderall. Yeah,
You're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
You
You're
gotta go
sensing-
because everybody around you is anxious, and you're like, I gotta do something.
Everyone has
Yeah.
a legal meth addiction in New York. No one
Yeah,
talks about
legal.
that. Everyone's like, dude, the middle of the country, there's meth everywhere. It's like everyone's on fucking Adderall.
That's what y'all need to make it here. We don't need
I know. Yeah. Like I wake up and this
We
is
just on
both of them.
anxiety. Wake up, grab our chest, and go.
People go to Florida like so much meth. I'm like, dude.
Good inhale of anxiety.
What about
Yeah.
Wake
diet?
up. Dieting.
Yeah, like what are foods you stay away from?
So I get tested probably 2-3 times a year. I get all my tests because stuff can change. There was a time where I wasn't eating eggs because and I'm listening to the smarter guys. I'm just repeating kind of what they say. There was stuff that was causing inflammation, eggs. So there was a point where I wasn't eating eggs in my diet. Speaking of, I got 6 chickens the other day.
No way.
Fire.
I'm a farmer, dude.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's actually been
I thought you
really
were talking
fun.
about the hose. I was like, yeah.
Well, it's funny because I always wanted a lot of chicks, and my
Yeah.
girl, I've had a girl for like 8 years.
Oh, okay.
And I've always wanted a lot of chicks, and she's like, well,
I
kind of
got
got your
you.
dream. Kind of got your dream.
But she lets you get something on the side, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say let because it's like she doesn't necessarily have that. I've always been like, hey, I'm my own person.
Yeah.
When I first met Danny, I'm like, hey, I don't get like marriage. Like marriage is stupid, and just like the concept of it. Fucking one chick for the rest of your life, stupid. I don't like that. So that was like one of our first conversations we ever had when I met her. Like we weren't even like talking like we were liking each other. I don't remember why, but I was like, marriage is dumb, right? It's funny because I can vividly remember having that conversation with her. And now I'm married.
That'll get you. That'll
legally.
get you.
But yeah, go back to that.
But the side. What's the deal with the side?
It's like, hey, I'm in New York. If a hot chick's like, hey, I want to fucking suck you, I'm not gonna say no.
And I know you're not.
That's the issue.
We're not asking you how you handle it. We're asking you how you manage her realization.
I think the reason that works for us is because I treat her truly like a queen. I really do take care of her, and I obviously
Kings has a pussy. That is a good point.
I provide for her, not just financially, but like emotionally. Like we still have great sex. I think that's important for guys. Like I want to fuck other chicks. Like when was the last time you fucked your girl good? Like it's been so we have good sex. We cuddle. We're like I stay there every night. I sleep there every night, every morning. It's not like am I coming home tonight? Like I live a very strict lifestyle, and she's a part of it. And I think it works because there's rare times people think I'm fucking chicks all the time. It's not like that. It's the random hey, I'm in fucking New York. Like if I want to hook up with a chick and it's not gonna be a big deal, you gotta be safe. You gotta be wear protection. I want to
He's putting out the bat signal right now. You see it?
When's this dropping?
Are we live right now? I'm in New York.
I think it works because I do treat her the way she deserves to be treated, and I wouldn't even be in this position without her because she's literally like my
ride or die,
dude,
the rock.
She's my rock, and she keeps me super. I would be so much more distracted with trying to get chicks if I didn't have the life I have right now with her. And I tell her like I want to be with. Like, we have a baby. I want to be with you. Forever's a long word or big word, but I want to be with you until we don't want to be with each other. I can't see that really ever happening.
Yeah.
But I do like to say like I plan on being with you. I want to have more kids with you. Like I love you. I truly love you. I'm a horny motherfucker. That's honest conversations how it goes. I let her know how guys think.
Do you ever tell her about like
if you
fuck something crazy? Oh, go.
I got a funny story.
Yeah.
I was at this autograph signing picture thing in Houston once, and I was just sharing like the people would tag me and I'd share it on my because I think it's cool. They think it's cool. Fans think it's cool if you share it on your own shit. Yeah. So I was sharing a bunch. A cute girl. I didn't really think anything of it at the time. I was like, oh, she's cute. And which is rare. Usually I'm on it, like, hey, what's up? But I wasn't. And Danny messaged me. She's like, yo, you should try to smash. My girl messaged me that.
Wow.
I didn't even hit that girl. I hit her up after. I'm like, well, fuck it. Like, and smashed. And it was incredible. Wow. And it was such a great experience. And I experienced that because Danny told me to smash. So I thought that was pretty fire.
Did she want to hear deets?
She didn't ask to hear deets, and it's not like, easy for her emotionally. Like it's not like she's just good at it.
Yeah.
But we've grown so much from these experiences. Me hooking up with.
Yeah, what a spin you just put on that. We've grown from me fucking.
She's grown a lot. She's like a queen bitch. She's like a rare. I feel like I lucked out so much finding someone like her.
So you travel a lot. You're training all the time.
I don't travel a lot.
Well, you're training all the time.
Train a lot.
Can she do her thing?
The way, until Andrew Tate came along, I was like, you can. And then Andrew Tate's like, girls can't do that. I'm like, yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, you had to become a top G real
I'm
quick.
a top G, so no, she can't. No, I think it just makes sense. Like, hey, we got this dope life. If you want to go and risk it for something. And like, I provide you with everything. What she wants is stability. She wants to feel loved. I give her everything she wants. So I'm marking all the boxes. She doesn't Danny doesn't go out. She's straight up from Oaxaca, Mexico. She's a real Mexican.
Yeah.
She's a Mexican queen. She doesn't go out. She doesn't do anything. She does hair. She's very passionate about hair. She does jujitsu. She trains with us. Oh, wow. And she's a mom. So the last thing
she's
on
not
her
trying
mind
to go
is like,
You're so confident in the relationship. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, she's not. That's the last thing on her mind. She's like grossed out by it. And I can see how girls like want to hook up with random guys. It's different. Guys fucking use their dicks like they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So it is different. There was a point where I did say, I'm like, hey, if I have this freedom, you have the freedom too. I've never really told her she doesn't, but
you don't feel like she wants
knows.
to, so it's not an issue.
We've had conversations about it though.
What about? Have there ever been any chicks in the DMs that you were like a fan of before?
That's a good way to ask that. I like that question.
No.
Did you beat off to any girls that DM'd you?
No, but I'm waiting. I've been looking in the DMs, like, where you at, girls?
Yeah.
No, nothing crazy. Nothing crazy yet.
A little blue check situation, maybe.
No,
one or two?
I don't fucking. I have 98% male audience, so the girls in the DMs are pretty rare, to be
Dick
honest.
pics? Dick pics?
I don't think I've actually seen any dick pics in the DM.
Oh,
No
You're about
way.
to.
What's your number?
Yeah, no dick pics. Yeah. But I also, like, if I see a guy sent me a photo, I don't open it. So maybe they did.
I had this like sex therapist guy I was talking to, and he made a comment that
You were putting him on your podcast. You
Yeah,
weren't
he was on the show.
seeing it.
He was on the
okay,
show.
Let's just be clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus, man.
Yeah, no, I had a closed door conversation with the sexual god, and he made a comment that is kind of, I don't know, maybe controversial, but he said professional fighters are naturally the best love makers.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break for a second because it's not often that the most entertaining man in music puts out a magical product that's not only going to save you money, but deliver the same high quality that you deserve. And that's exactly what Ray J has done with Raycon. I'm telling you right now, most products do the same thing, but they're priced crazy. And if there's one product you definitely shouldn't sleep on, it is the Raycon wireless earbuds. Raycon is premium audio at the perfect price point, so you don't need to break the bank on those other wireless earbuds. I'm telling you, how often are you going to lose your earbuds? Every time you travel, you lose them. You're going to leave them at the nightstand at the hotel, and boom, gone. You got to buy another one. At least when you're with Raycon, you can get a pair and a spare and still pay less than you would with some of these other tech brands. Raycon knows that this economy, every purchase needs to be perfect, okay? They offer buy now, pay later options. Right now, you can pay as low as $18 at checkout. Think about that. They got the easy and free return guarantee as well. They offer 2 years of product protection insurance for just a few bucks. Man, I'm telling you, you need to get on the Raycons, okay? So right now, go to buyraycon.com/flagrant today, and you're gonna get 15% off your Raycon order. Think about that. The earbud tap functions, the noise cancellation, the water and sweat resistant. They got up to 8 hours of playtime. And all you got to do right now is go to buyraycon.com/flagrant to score 15% off at buyraycon.com/flagrant. Now let's get back to the show. All right, guys, we're going to take a break for a second because we got to get serious. It's summer. Summer is here. Balls stinking, hot, gooch dripping, sweaty. What you going to do about it? What you going to do about it? You gonna let that furnace cook all day? You already got the tight undies on. You know the thing is moist, rainforest between your thighs. What are you gonna do about it? I'll tell you what you're gonna do about it. Manscaped, okay? Manscaped. Right now, that beautiful girl in your life has got her nostrils stuffed with pubic hair because you got a Scottie Pippen fro right above your scrotum. She doesn't deserve that. Not in this heat. Not in this heat, okay? You need that Manscaped. You need to get that lawnmower, that 4.0, the waterproof cordless body trimmer, and you need to get that down there and shape it up real nice for the summer. Okay, if it was December, okay, and you're in Alaska, let the bush grow. That's warmth for everybody. But you know what time it is? It's May, June coming right around the corner, and we got to get them nuts and dick looking gorgeous, and Manscaped has got our back, okay? You're also gonna find the Manscaped Crop Preserver, the Ball Deodorant, and Crop Reviver, the Ball Toner, a deodorant and moisturizer for your balls. No one likes nose hairs also, so this package also comes with the Weed Whacker 2.0, and you also get 2 free gifts. So right now, get 20% off free shipping with the code FLAGRANT at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code FLAGRANT at manscaped.com. Trim your chesticles with the besticles. Now let's get back to the show.
He said professional fighters are naturally the best love makers. He said in his experience, and he's fucked a lot, he's been around gangbangs and shit, he's like mind-body connection in terms of like being able to like withstand like erection and shit like that is better naturally because you're in the ring getting punched in the head, able to like mentally deal with a stressful situation and your body trying to react a certain way and overpower the natural things. You think that's true or no?
I think maybe I don't know about that necessarily.
What's he gonna say to that?
There's a certain level of alpha you have as a fighter.
Yeah.
That maybe can translate.
Oh, you
to
don't
make
beta it up in the
love.
bed, dude?
You don't get
I'm
dommed one
rarely
time.
Come on,
that.
one time for a little domination.
A couple times.
Be honest, are you
You
like
never
a
pull guard in the bed?
I'm pulling guard. I'm pulling guard. I'm too old for shit. I'm 39.
You ever got the doorbell rung one time?
Doorbell rung.
Yeah.
Bing
So like,
bong.
yeah, she just kind of slips in the back. Boop.
Oh, dude.
Not all the way.
Hell yeah. I got my.
You meant all the way.
I got my.
I know. He's trying to soften it up. He's like,
baby.
Wait, for that specifically.
Well, it's just nice.
Optimization, bro.
It's just
You're
nice,
Bro,
bro.
yeah, get all the shit out of the way,
No,
dude.
I let her wax my ass a couple times.
Wait, who?
oh, that's
Danny.
love.
Oh.
I go like this. She thinks it's funny, bro. I don't think it's funny at all.
Let's go, dude.
I ain't gay. No shit.
Hold on. So you're
fire.
just cupping your dick and balls, and then she's waxing your asshole.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It hurts.
That's love.
That is love,
It
dude.
hurts.
I've had mine waxed before. It doesn't hurt.
It's not great.
What?
You don't think it hurts, huh?
Yeah.
Now his ass needs to be
It
waxed. You've
feels
seen
good
it.
being
Yeah, but
waxed, though.
wait,
It is clean.
where
Good
this
farts,
happened? Who
good
did
shit.
this?
I told you about this.
No.
When I did that role and the director kind of Me Too'd me.
Oh, God.
Hey, yo.
Whoa. You told us that he asked you
He
to
waxed you?
shave.
No, he didn't ask, but like I was a crackhead and I was running out of a building. So I was naked and then I was like, yo, before I do this, I kind of got to tell you guys something. Like I have a very hairy ass, like, and that might not be what you guys imagine on camera. And and then he was like, all right, show me. And I showed him and then he came up and he like touched my cheek.
You
And
got
it's like,
dude.
you didn't need to do that.
What?
But that was some like director Me
Yeah.
Too shit.
You were a
Where-
crackhead, though, in the role. So.
I was.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah. What?
So he
So
waxed
then-
you.
No,
He
he
waxed
waxed me
you?
in my ass.
Okay.
No. So then I went and got waxed, and some like Ukrainian woman waxed my ass, and it wasn't that
Really?
bad.
But
it
did
was
you?
good.
I mean, did you like the aftermath?
After
of the
was
wax?
fantastic.
It's great.
Wiping is incredible.
It
Like
is.
the toilet paper
It's
doesn't bundle up.
I got a bidet.
Oh, you go.
Oh, but
That's
they
a game
boys-
changer.
Yeah.
It really is.
Did you ever go
dude.
reverse cowgirl on the bidet and just hit that?
Why?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You gotta wash the front butt sometimes, dude. The front butt's got front butt gets a little wash.
Your girl just walks in. What the fuck are you doing?
You're a treasure, man. You really are a fucking treasure.
Dude, that's wild.
Okay, so the ultimate dream is double champ.
Yeah.
100 mil in the bank.
Do you mean threesome? Is that what you mean by that?
I've had lots of threesomes.
That's the thing. Who
It's
gets the nut?
both. Well, it depends.
The sprinkler system.
If your
It's
if your
different.
girl is involved, if your wife is involved, she has to get it, right?
Dude, she gets off with me fucking another chick.
But does she want?
Where'd you find
Not
this
necessarily.
queen?
It's Mexico.
They're taking our jobs.
Take down the wall.
She doesn't speak English. No,
This whole time she's been upset. No entiendo.
yeah, the nut. It's just kind of however I'm feeling. I get a pick. No, top G gets a pick. That's never an issue. It's never been an issue when we've hooked up with other chicks. She's always been very comfortable, and again, it's because our relationship's so solid that we can do stuff like that. It's not like we're fighting, and then I'm like, hey, let's fuck this chick, and Danny's like, okay. It's always like we're in a really good spot, and then we can,
But do you ever feel bad for the other girl? Like she did all that work for that nut, and then she doesn't even get it.
No, I don't feel bad for her. I feel bad if I don't last. That's what sucks.
Wait, what do you mean?
There's been
like
times.
you bust before the girl even.
Oh, there's been times
Wait, what?
when I just busted too fast. I'm like, hey, this never happens.
I don't know about that theory, bro.
You gotta go to the
Your
corner.
sex therapist, shut the fuck up.
No, the second time, I said, wait for the next nut.
Yeah.
Wait for the
Oh,
next
you gotta run it back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that first one.
I seen a clip of you and Joe actually talk about it. He said busting fast nuts because the leopards or some shit.
Yeah,
That was funny. I was like, it makes a little sense too.
Yeah, it's evolution, bro. That's why we bust fast.
But I always usually tell them like, wait for the next round. Give me 5, give me 10. Because
Oh, you running it back in 10 minutes?
if it's a 3-banger and it's a new chick and it's like, yeah, you can get fat. Like if it, like no offense, but if you fuck your girl so many times when you bust, you're good for the day. You're good.
Yeah.
But it's a new chick. You're like, and you didn't perform. Like, I got you.
Hit
Do you
the perennial
apologize?
nerve. We need a
Yeah.
rematch. That's it.
But do you really apologize, or do you just
I have.
really?
Yeah, there's
Do you ever like
times.
fake nut and just go to the bathroom,
No, I did not.
or just like nut
wait.
but like in
Yeah,
your
you-
hand, and then go to the bathroom and be like, oh guys, I gotta just
my
brush my
mom's
teeth or
motherfucker.
something. Yeah, yeah. My mom.
What's up, mom? Just having a threesome. What's up? How's Montana?
No emergency. No, there's been times for sure.
Okay, tell me the apology. This is really fun. Set the stage for this story. Set the stage.
I thought you're not a bad one. It's like, hey, I'm sorry. I've wanted to fuck you for so long. You're so hot. Like, and it just happened. I'm sorry.
And wait, so you were already fucking her and your girl is there?
Yeah.
Does she also go like, no, this doesn't really happen?
Danny knows.
she got the
She knows the
for you?
struggle. She knows. I tell her, I'm like, God damn it. Like, if we got a baddie coming, I'm like, God damn, I'll probably get bust fast. And she's
Yeah,
like,
you gotta do camp for that, bro. You gotta get ready.
Sometimes, like, honestly, doing some breath work before, just mind, body, just like whatever, you know.
what I'm saying,
just trying
dude.
to like kind of connect with yourself. But for the most part, that new puss is.
It's tough. You ever have Tim just stand in the corner and watch?
Yeah, give you
Anytime
advice.
About to nut, just look
Yeah.
over at him.
Put Vaseline on your eyebrows.
Look for the knee.
Oh no, haven't had that yet.
Fucking Tim, man. Yeah, what a life you're living. Do you
love it.
recognize that your life is different than 99.9% of humans in history?
Sometimes I try to, you know, kind of reflect and be like, damn, this is fucking crazy. It's easy to not though, just keep going. But yeah, I definitely try to reflect, and you know, that's times where I'm sitting in the hot tub, cold plunge, like by myself. I just need a time for myself, which I do have a lot of, and I think that's important. Just for, you know, especially for athletes in camp, kind of like visualization or you know, connecting with your higher spirit or whatever, but just to be a healthy, happy human and just reflecting on life. And you know,
When you're having this much success, do you start to believe that it's destiny, that there's like some sort of divine intervention? Do those thoughts creep into your head like, wow, I'm supposed to do this and maybe God wants me to do this?
yeah, that's a good question. It's weird because there's times where I'm like, damn, this is all happening for a reason. Like, this is how it's supposed to be. And sometimes I catch myself thinking like that. I'm like, God, that's weird. But also I'm like, I feel like Henry might go out there and win just because I feel like me and him are meant to fight and I'm meant to beat him.
It's a weird thing that when you're having success, everything feels destined. And when you're in your downtimes, I imagine when you broke your foot and these other things, there's in no way are you going, yes, God is playing a role in this.
Yeah.
Yes, is there some sort of intervention? I wonder if that's a huge competitive advantage.
Well, that's where I feel like I got really good at understanding how the mind works and how I can control my thoughts a little bit. Because yeah, when I broke my foot, I was like, how am I supposed to get better? I'm already not grappling as long as these guys. How am I supposed to get better? And I was able to really kind of change my mindset and improve in other ways. That's kind of where I got more into meditation and learning more about and just listening to educational podcasts and trying to learn, maybe reading more. In those 2 years that I was out, I got good at a lot of other stuff.
And you went in thinking I can change my mentality, because I was curious about the meditation and what you got out of that. You said you did 50 straight days to just like challenge
That was a
yourself.
Waking Up app. Sam Harris, he's like a neuroscientist. He kind of explains how to meditate, and you know, obviously there's a bunch of different ways of meditation, but I feel like I got and again, Tim, I got to give credit to Tim. He kind of introduced me to meditation. He broke his jaw in his last fight. It was the same day Floyd fought Conor. Same August fucking 2000 something. And he broke his jaw, had it wired shut.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Damn.
And he was at home for like 6 to 8 weeks. I didn't see him. And he was like, didn't know what the fuck to do. And he that's where he got introduced into meditation. And he's like, hey, you got to just try it. It's like, you know, I really feel like there's, you know, benefit here. And so he introduced me to that.
Yeah, and you just do the guided ones, like on
I do
that?
a lot of the guided meditations.
10 minutes?
Yeah, 10 minutes. I did 10 minutes this morning in my fucking hotel, just sitting there just to start the day. You know, prepare myself for a fucking solid day. There's meditations where you're kind of like doing a mantra or kind of visualizing the day, how it's going to go. And then there's meditation where you're silent. You're kind of trying to quiet your mind. But I do think there's benefit in no matter what you do. Is just, I mean, 10 minutes is... It's weird because when you first start, it seems like a long time. You start with 3 minutes, and then you go up to like 5 minutes, and then like 10 minutes. Now 10 minutes doesn't seem so long. It's like that's
30.
just normal time. But I do think that could change a lot of people's lives, and it's something so easy but so fucking hard to do.
What do you think you got out of it? Like, how did it change?
That's a good question. I would say what I got out of meditation is I feel like I'm a lot more aware of my thoughts, and I'm able to not react to certain situations. I can react to certain situations more the way I want to rather than how I'm just programmed to. You know, we're all programmed from when we're kids to react certain ways, and we just never really changed that to where when you kind of start meditating, start learning about your mind, learning about your thoughts, you can kind of start to change that. Something happens, you know, start learning about stoicism too.
Ryan Holiday, right?
Yeah, Ryan Holiday. Yeah, he's one of my favorite authors. But yeah, I'd say probably just being able to kind of control my thoughts more, which is an important and powerful skill, especially in sports.
Yeah, how does that happen in the ring? Can you give me an example?
I'd say more so before the fight is
The anxiety that you're feeling.
yeah. So I fought Petr Yan last fight. I fucking calm as all fight week, like, and it wasn't necessarily like I knew I was gonna go out there and win. I didn't think like, oh, I'm destined to win. I'm gonna go out there and win. I already got it in the bag. It was more like just okay with whatever happens, and a lot of fighters deal with negative thoughts, and I really didn't have any, and if I did, I was able to kind of counter them and turn it around, and I think that's kind of what meditation's done for me.
Yeah, that's cool that it's not like natural necessarily. Like you're still feeling all the natural anxieties, but you're just able to overcome it through intentional presence.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And preparation, just leading into this for fights in general, leading into fights, like the preparation, I have it so dialed in. I'm doing everything I possibly can that when it is fight week, it's not like, fuck, I shouldn't have went out that night, or I shouldn't have ate that, or I fucking wish I would have sparred more.
Like, you think a lot of fighters deal with regret the week of?
I'd say it's almost like some fighters are so stupid that they don't, because they just don't. It's almost an advantage how dumb they are. Yeah. So
like who? Let's talk some shit.
Henry. No, no, Henry's a motherfucking competitor.
Yeah,
he's obviously at the
he's done at the highest level.
Yeah, that dude.
That takes intensity.
I never think he's gonna be coming underprepared.
Yeah, but I know exactly what you're saying. I remember playing like sports with kids growing up, and they were kind of a little duller. Yeah. And as a result, I'd be like, dude, are you worried about the game? And they're like, oh yeah, we got a game. You know what I mean? Like there's a disconnect from their anxiety.
There's the quarterback.
Peyton and Eli Manning?
Eli Manning, yeah.
Yeah. Peyton is like a fucking computer. His brother.
Well,
Is the best quarterback.
Got some data in there.
And Eli he would throw all these bad interceptions, whatever, but at the end of I'm a Cowboy fan. I grew up in Dallas. I'd watch the end of a game and I'd fear Eli because it felt like he doesn't care. None of this scares him.
Yeah.
His
Eli
brain
is
is
Giants, right?
Yeah,
for the
Giants.
Giants,
Yeah.
Make sure you're
So yeah, two Super Bowls.
Cowboys fan. Wait.
But it is
my
interesting,
vision.
exactly what you're saying. Like the ability to not care or not overvalue a moment will reduce that anxiety.
Big time.
Yeah, but being able to get yourself into that meditative state and then calm it down.
Yeah.
I was reading about you doing the journaling.
Yeah, that's huge.
What is? I have a suspicion, but what is it that you get out of the daily journal?
I'd say a couple things. Just so right now I do it. I've been not getting on my phone for like an hour when I wake up, and I'm thankful that I can do
Huberman swears by that. Do
Really?
you know Andrew Huberman?
I've definitely heard of Andrew Huberman, not specifically that, but for the hour thing, it's just like, I think I've heard Ryan Holiday talk about it too. It's been huge, and I'm lucky to have that kind of a life, and I have a 2.5-year-old daughter, so it makes it a lot easier. Like she's funny as fuck.
Playtime,
yeah. But journaling is just kind of like it's a form. So I'll do my meditation, then I'll journal. So it's like another form of meditation, and it's not like I'm writing any fucking philosophy. Like if you read my journal, you'd be like, what the fuck, this guy's retarded. Like today I'm going to. Like it's not really what I'm writing. It's the fact that the act of sitting down, writing out the day.
Yeah. Contemplating.
Like, hey, today I'm gonna, I got training at this time. I'm gonna really make focus on this, and set my intentions on certain training sessions. Or if I journal at night, which I haven't been right now, but there was a phase. I go through phases of life, when I'm doing different healthy habits, or reflecting on the day. But yeah, I think just the act of doing it, it's a healthy habit, and that I just that's what I get out of it. But that hour off your phone has been huge, really. Huge, I do think that, and it's such a small, simple thing. You wake up at 7:30. I'm not gonna touch my phone until 8:30. It's fucking that easy, and it can change your day. Because I've had days where I wake up kind of in a rush. I'll be eating, drinking my coffee, surfing on YouTube. I kind of have this fucking buzz, this fog in my head, where I'm like, I don't like this feeling, and I do think it's correlated with. I also don't drink coffee for the first hour, which I think is helpful.
You should look up Huberman, man. A lot of the things you're talking about, he pushes super hard. He's been on Rogan a bunch of times.
I definitely I know of him, but sometimes says too much, like it's too much for me. I'm like, holy fuck! Like a 3-hour pod, and I'm like, get through that.
The brain thing, I remember I lost my phone in like 10, 15 years ago. And the first day without my phone, I was miserable. Second day, I was like, oh, this isn't so bad. And third day, I felt like my brain just kind of like, just released all this tension that had been there that I didn't ever think about. Yeah. And if the phone is there, I'm so addicted to it. But if it's not, you're so much better.
Put it away.
Yeah.
Put it away.
It's so funny when people don't necessarily see the connection. I'll talk to people and they're like, dude, I just have such good ideas in the shower. I don't know what it could be. I think it's the water.
You can think.
There's not all this noise in your head for 20 minutes.
The journaling thing, I think is a form of therapy.
Yeah.
I think
sure.
part of therapy is just, at least for me specifically, is getting it out of my head. Sometimes when I'm frustrated about something, if I just type it into a note, just purging it. Being able to purge something allows me to handle it so much better, because once I've gotten the ideas out, I'm kind of like worked through the ideas, I've organized what is actually bothering me, and then I can focus on that. When I'm avoiding it, it's just kind of pecking at me.
It's burning.
So I think,
There's definitely a form of therapy. I'll call Emron. There's days where, business stuff, stressed out, and I'll talk to Emron. We'll have an hour conversation. I'll hang up the phone and be like, feels so good.
Get it out.
Yeah, another form of that.
How do you do that? Like, I've even noticed in my career, as I've gotten more successful, there's been different things pulling me in different directions. And I've had to be like really intentional about carving out time for the craft. Have you felt the pressure of the different businesses that want your time, people that want your time, the promotional opportunities that you have to do to build yourself take away from your training?
It's always been a main priority, is training comes first, but there's definitely been times where I'm like, whoa, like I need to step back and not do too much. Training comes first, but you get more business opportunities, and you're like, oh, how much is that? I can probably fit that in. Then you fit that in, you're like, fuck, did I miss practice because of that? So there's times where I've done that, but I feel like overall, I've done a very good job of making it main focus is training. If there's an injury and there's a setback to where I'm like, oh, I'm out for a week or two, I can't train, like then I can do a little bit more YouTube stuff, because building YouTube is fucking massive, especially right now. So I feel like I do a good job of doing that, but I got to be conscious of it all the time, because that shit can take over for sure.
When you're, I remember watching a few of your fights, and I was trying to figure out like your competitive advantage in there, and it's not length. I wonder if it's timing.
Girth? No,
But like I don't know. I'm like it's not just the length. It's like you're kind of trapping a lot. It's kind of interesting to see. Like, do you see yourself as a counter puncher, or do you see yourself as, I'm trying to do like a boxing comparison, like a Eric Morales. Do you remember him? Might be before your time, but he was an amazing fighter. He had this like trilogy with Barrera that was incredible. But what he would do is he would set a lot of traps in his forward attack. So it's not like he was waiting for the guy, but everything was setting up something else.
So he's being offensive to get them to be offensive to be counter.
So like when you're going in there, are you like, okay, let me just see what this person's going to give me? That's what Tank does. First round is like, let me see what the timing is, what we have to worry about. Or are you going in there going, I'm setting him up every single thing I strike?
You don't want to give away too much, but also everyone's such a different opponent. Like my game plan against Henry would be different than Aljo. Like it just depends on the opponent. But for the most part, I'm going in there to put your lights out. Sooner the better. And if it doesn't go as planned in that sense, like I don't put your lights out for the Petr Yan fight, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to fight the whole fight. But I guess I kind of am a counter puncher, but I also like to be offensive.
That's the thing. It feels hard. Like when you get into that flow state, I don't know, there's a moment where I've seen a few different fights where you start connecting and things just, it's like it looks as if you're thinking 2 or 3 punches or kicks ahead.
Yeah. I know when I got a motherfucker hurt, like
immediate.
Yeah. Well, that Holly and Paiva fight, I knew I landed a hard right hand that you couldn't tell necessarily on camera or in, like, it wasn't like, oh shit, but I knew that it landed, and I knew I was gonna take over from that moment. And but yeah, I feel like I'm good at just flowing in there. It's not necessarily like, okay, I'm gonna be offensive this fight. I'm gonna go out there, I gotta be offensive, or I'm gonna really counterpunch this fight. I'm good at going in there and adjusting, like going in there and just getting in a fight. It's like a physical chess match to where it's just like I may be throwing and I'm trying to be offensive, but I'm like, well, it's not really working. I don't know. I'm not really thinking much in there.
Yeah, it's intuitive.
More of a flow, just kind of like I said, I do feel like I was born to fight. When I found fighting, I was naturally good at it. I was like, what the fuck? This is like, I have really good eyes too.
Like vision, actually, like you can see, they say that with baseball players that, I forget who it was, could see the seam, Ted Williams could see the seams of the ball.
Jesus.
And he could tell which pitch was thrown based on the seams.
Crazy.
So he could see curveball. So when you're in there, are you seeing?
I don't believe that.
I don't believe it. I mean,
I don't.
That's a great thing to lie about.
Yeah,
it is. That's what I'm saying.
You in a contract here.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I would lie about it too. But
Yeah. No, I can tell when people are gonna throw it right. No jokes. Yeah, I think I just think it comes down to I do have good eyes, I have good reaction time, and I think that's just from playing so much Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I joke about that a little bit, but I'm also like, how true is that? I've been playing games since I was
There probably is
4
something.
years old.
Yeah.
Like sitting in front of the screen, that hand-eye coordination. There's got to be
Yeah.
something there.
Well, they do say that about athletes are better at video games because of that.
Yeah, but then there's those fucking nerds that are just so good.
But that's
like,
from beating off.
Yeah.
then I should be double good at both.
you said you don't think too much when you're in the ring, but you do
Ideally.
hear your corner telling you things. So like, how do you?
How do you block
listen
that?
to? Yeah. Are you listening to that? Or are you blocking it out? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think Tim and I have an interesting chemistry too because we have known each other for so long. We did live together, and I think that kind of helps me be able to put his voice in my head when it needs to be. For the most part, in the fight itself, I'm not really like I don't remember too much of like hearing Tim or the corners. But in between rounds is really kind of where I'm getting that information. Okay. You get that 1 minute to get your heart rate as low as possible and recover as fast as you can while trying to listen to the advice. It's funny, and I going into the second round against Peter, at the beginning of the round, Tim said, "He's too fast for you." He meant to say you're too fast for him. And it's fucking,
hilarious.
You can see it. It got clipped up and shared everywhere on
He's talking
Twitter.
shit.
He's talking to Yan.
Yeah. But he's telling me, he's too fast for you in the beginning of the second round. And I remember that. And I kind of like remember like thinking like, he fucked that up.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, he's like, you're too fast for him. He came back around.
He got it back.
But that was funny. I do remember that pretty vividly. But in the fight itself, usually, honestly, Tim talks shit the whole time.
To the opponent?
Yeah, you're slow. Like, they get pissed.
I love this guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Tim has had such a huge impact on your life. He brings you to Phoenix to train, the weed, meditation, taking down the fucking ugly chicks for you.
Were you an only child? Because this guy is the big brother.
I had a big brother. Well, I do still have a big brother, a younger brother, and a younger sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. My older brother, he was in the shit, addicted to meth, like not doing good for a long time. And everyone lived in Montana. I finally got my mom down, my younger brother down, my sister down, and my older brother down. And I got them all down to Phoenix, and they're all doing really, really good right now. My dad's still in Montana. I'm like, what are you fucking doing?
Yeah.
Is he still a detective?
No, he retired. He still does. He retired, but I feel like that generation, they don't like. What is retiring? Like, am I gonna just chill all day?
Yeah.
They gotta work. So he gets another job. He works. He likes it. He likes Montana. I've really been trying to get him down to Phoenix though, but my mom and dad split. So yeah, fuck marriage. No,
I'm always curious, does the crowd affect the performance at all? Like, I've heard guys be like, oh, I black out, but like, does the different venue matter? Like, as comics, we're always like, oh, this venue's cool, this one sucks.
We obsess about it.
Yeah, like, does the arena matter?
I always say, if fucking Dana White's sitting there, I'll fight anywhere.
Yeah.
I fought at the Apex when there was no crowd, like the early Apex, because now there's like a mini crowd.
Yeah.
I fought early Apex, no crowd. Eddie Wineland. When I fucking
Yeah.
first time I colored my hair, had the rainbow hair.
Yeah.
Like really inspired by Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I'm fucking, that looks dope. I get it. Everyone's super interested in this guy. He's a character. He's got face tattoos, colorful hair. So I drew some shit on, fucking colored the hair, and went out there and knocked out Eddie Wineland. 0 people there, and it was so fucking weird. I didn't have an issue performing. I can perform anywhere. As long as Dana and the important people are watching, I'll perform. But that was weird. I fucking slept him, and I could hear him snoring. You can hear him in the video.
Wow.
Listen closely.
Wow.
And like you could hear him snoring on the ground. That was so fucking
jealous.
weird.
Oh, that's so interesting. Do you
I'm so
sometimes
jealous
wish
of
that
him.
that was in the fucking like
Yes,
MSG
yes,
or
I
some
wish
shit?
that was-
That's one of the best knockouts.
Yeah.
And to have it just to finish and be like silence.
So I had 2. So I fought Eddie Wineland in there, crazy KO, silence. It was weird. And then I had fought in Chito. Obviously that went the way it did. And then I fought Thomas Almeida, which was another crazy knockout where he was laying on his back. You remember that one?
Oh, and you went in for the big one.
Yeah.
Ref should have stepped in right there.
So I had dropped him like 3 times.
Yeah.
And you know, the commentator, why is he walking away? And then I smoke him. They're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That one was crazy. That was also in the Apex. No one there. And I do feel like a little bit of me got robbed of the experience of the crowd because I haven't really. had a crazy. Well, Hollywood Paiva was pretty sweet, but it wasn't like one of those sleepers
Clean ones
where you're just motherfucker was snoring.
Yeah, walk away.
So I'm craving that, and I do feel like, that would just be a perfect Henry one. Motherfucker snoring.
Have you had people like step to you when you go out to bars and shit? You know, people get drunk and
no,
never.
I don't know if it's because I'm always kind of. Just my vibe.
You're low key when you're out.
Well, when I'm out, I'm fucking dressed up looking like a fool.
I mean, last night when you came out, you
I was
were
low
like
key. Yeah, I was
super low key.
Yeah, I was trying to be low key last night. I was pretty tired too because I had left Phoenix at 6 a.m. The time change was weird. So I was keeping it low key last night. But if I go out, I don't really go out very often. Like very rarely I'll go out. And if I do go out, I'm going out to the club, having a good time.
Yeah.
And if I go out, like I'm going out.
Putting it on.
I'm going out because I've been at a club sober. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's like the apex with no one there.
Yeah. I'm like, why are these guys look like idiots?
It sucks. It's
You can have a couple beans, drinks, and then you can start having a good time. And so when I'm at the club, I always have to have security with me to make sure I'm standing up.
Yeah.
I like to dance, I get wiggly.
Yeah.
I can't dance for shit, but when I start flowing, getting into some flows,
Best dancer there.
in my mind, yes. I've seen people like record videos of me dancing. They send it to me. I'm like, oh,
Now, who is that, bro? That's 6ix9ine dancing.
oh
That's not me.
God, yeah. I look like a fucking fool. So I try not to do that too much. But
How'd you get the nickname Suga?
good question, Suga. Johnny Aho, my first coach in Montana. At first it was Spider. I'm like, hey coach, no offense, but we got to fucking. So you got to be on the team for 6 months before you got your hoodie with your name on the back.
Okay.
He's like, well, Spider. I came up with it. I'm like, like Anderson Silva's Spider.
Yeah.
I didn't really watch fighting at the time, so I didn't really correlate that. But I'm glad that wasn't it. But then I guess Suga's not any better considering everyone else has that nickname.
But
too.
Suga is legacy though.
But Suga, he said, I'm like, why that? He's like, because you're so sweet to watch. I was like, okay, I can fuck with that. So I had Suga on the back, and it said, now you see me, now you don't. And that was the first time, and now fucking Snoop always calls me Suga Shane. Every time I've heard Snoop talk about me and anything, Suga Shane. I'm like, God damn it. But yeah, I get Suga Shane a lot. Not as much as it hasn't been as much recently. But
you know
Suga
where
Shane.
he's getting that from.
Yeah. Suga Shane Mosley.
Yeah.
Which is, hey, we look alike. But yeah, Suga.
So you're a very thoughtful guy. You're obviously smart. Whatever. What is your ultimate goal? How long do you want to keep fighting? Because you're a guy who's probably thought about the risks.
Yeah. What about your brain, bro?
Yeah.
Like, you
Exactly.
researched it.
Yeah, I really don't get hit that often. I don't spar outside of camp.
You probably just don't remember getting hit.
Fair. No, I'm actually building. I got this nice little plot of land where my house is, and then I just bought an acre right behind it. So I'm building like kind of the Suga factory. It's gonna be like the fantasy factory, kind of just like a little fucking foam pit, little
Some dirt bikes and
just some
shit?
sweet shit. Well, I try to avoid anything like that where I could get seriously injured. But I'm building this, but it's gonna have like podcast offices in it. It's gonna have a full size octagon, which is kind of hard to come by to train for. There's 2 size octagons. The small one that was in the Apex, it's fucking tiny. I hate that one. And then there's the full size octagon, which is more like the pay-per-view, the big fights.
Yeah. Why would they do the small one?
It's the small one's 44, I think, percent smaller than the big one, so it's almost half the size.
Wow.
What's the reasoning for
just more action?
I don't know if it's just like I think it might be for smaller venues because it is quite a bit smaller. But I'm getting a full size octagon in my factory. So and me building this, I'm gonna do like the hot tub. I have a hot tub and cold plunge at my house and the sauna and everything. But I'm gonna put it. Have you been to the PI at all?
Yeah.
Where it's like a commercial size hot tub, cold plunge. I'm building this. It's gonna be very expensive, but that for me is an investment. And like I'm saying, all right, for the next. I'm 28. I'm saying 10 years. 38 is a long time to fight, depending on where you're at in your career. But I would love to do like exhibition shit like Floyd's doing, making bags. Like I feel like in 10 years, who knows what fighting is gonna be like? Fucking bare knuckle. No, shucks. So I'm gonna build this factory for it's like an investment in my health, which I'm already got all that shit at my house. It's kind of like an excuse. Really, but it's So
you
I'd say
do you have any
10 years.
side businesses? Because like a wellness app or whatever, like you're such a wellness oriented guy. I feel like it's a
Dude,
perfect.
you gotta narrate a meditation.
Oh
Yeah.
God!
That'd be fire,
Just like go
man.
like this the whole time. I got a deviated septum and I want to get it fixed so bad, but I guess the more you get your nose fixed, the more it breaks. The easier it breaks, and it's just like you get it fixed. You,
You got to do that
out.
after
It's like,
fighting, bro.
Yeah.
So, but that's fucking annoying because nasal breathing. We can get into that too. Is how important that.
Are you
shit
doing the
is,
mouth
bro.
taping?
I do mouth tape. That is more religiously than anything. Fucking anything. I bring mouth tape. I would mouth tape last night, but I had to sit up like with my pillows up a little bit so I could. Sometimes my nose gets super stuffed
When
up.
you and your wife are fighting ever, do you just tape her up?
We don't even fucking fight ever, but I would.
What is there to fight?
No, that left hook puts her out.
Yeah.
But fighting, I could say.
Brain injuries.
Yeah,
I know there has to be some concern. You have a
Definitely.
kid,
Definitely.
Daughter, yeah.
You know older fighters, and you've seen how they are. You're like, I don't want to end up like that. At what point, or what do you do to stop that from happening outside of just getting fucking rocked?
I don't spar outside of camp. When I am in camp, I do believe it is important to sparring and have pretty hard rounds. We're going at it pretty good. Just minimizing the head damage in sparring or in the camp for 8 to 10 weeks. And then obviously I ain't trying to get hit in a fight. It happens. And everyone takes damage different. Like there's some guys, some boxers that take so much brain damage and they're still fucking talking fine. And then there's some people that haven't been hit very much and they're fucking...
We had Tony Hawk on the podcast, and we asked him about it, and he's like, yeah, dude, they did a study on me.
Oh, shit.
And he goes, no, I just happen to be one of those people where CT doesn't really develop. So there's different types of brains.
I would be very scared. I would like to get that study done.
But
I
also
wouldn't want to know. Because if they say, hey, you get hit 3 more times, you're retarded.
Yeah.
Or that's good motivation, bro. You start slipping it. His head movement is crazy. He's in the bus.
But I also, like, I've invested. I got 4 houses, and I think for like investment properties, and I think I've saved my money really well. I've spent it in the right areas to where, you know, if there's ever a time where I'm like questioning it, like, fuck, can I take more head damage? Then I think, and I have good people around me, Emron, Tim, like, I have good people around me that I hope and I believe will say, hey, I think it's time to be done. It's going to be hard for me to quit competing at that level, but I also enjoy podcasting. I enjoy doing other things to where I feel like there will be a little transition period.
Yeah, the conversation doesn't end. It just changes.
Yeah.
Do you ever try to help other fighters not in terms of like maybe training or preparation, but more outside of fighting and how they organize their lives?
I feel like I could help a lot. I feel like I could get paid a lot of money to organize people's camps and stuff, but I'm just... my focus is on me right now, and fighting is such a selfish sport, especially in camp. And like Danny knows too. Like when we're in camp, we're focused on me. I don't give a fuck if you're on your period, bitch. Shut the fuck up. No, not that mean. But she knows. Like there's nights where if I'll sleep. It's nice too because we'll have our own rooms. Especially if Elena's like sick and she's 2.5, so if she's got a cough, she's coughing multiple times. I'll sleep in my own room. Daniel'll sleep in her room, and she's really cool about that. So there's times where, especially in camp, it's a very selfish sport, and it has to be if you want to be at the top.
Yeah,
and the wife that understands the game is going to be supportive of that and kind of push you. I remember seeing DC say that to Henry, I think it was recently. He was talking about the wives that baby their husbands. Those husbands don't end up doing as well. And the wives that are pushing their husbands and making sure they can go as far as possible are the guys that make it happen. Because it's very easy for a woman in a relationship to be like, all you're doing is training, you're not spending any time with me, you're not doing this. Oh, God.
Yeah, no, Danny's been fucking as perfect as you can get as far as being a partner. And she's I think that's why we're good teamwork parenting. We have a good, teamwork when it comes to merch and like designing merch and stuff. Like
the merch looks like actual clothing.
That's great.
It's a clothing brand. I don't even like calling it merch. I like to call it a clothing brand.
Yeah.
Clothing brand. So like we sit down, we come up with like certain design color schemes. We also have like people that do the designs because we're not doing them fully. But then as far as my hair, she does hair for a living. She's like fucking black belt in hair. She's been doing hair for a long time. So she enjoys that, just fashion in general, like we're getting fire fits for specific events. Yeah. So we're just good partners, good teamwork.
It's dope to have go.
Does she get worried for you on like fight day that you're gonna get injured and stuff?
No, she doesn't. She watches my sparring and she knows how serious I take it. Mm-hmm. And she also knows, and I tell her, I'm like, hey, I get knocked out. It's okay. Like our life's still pretty fucking sweet. Yeah. I go out there and lose the next fight. Like obviously that's not the goal. That's not what we want to happen. But it's fine. Like, life's still fucking good. I'm gonna come home. We still got Elena. We still got the family. We still got the jiu-jitsu community. Like, we're good. To where I think it makes it easier for her to watch, and she'll get into her breath, and she doesn't like a bunch of people fucking yelling at the TV. If she could choose, she'd watch it by herself, sit there, breathe, and just kind of like be calm.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's been. Oh, that's what I wanted to say too. Like, I met Danny when I think I might have been 1-0 pro or an amateur still. Like, it was very early on in my career, and she's funny. She just believed me. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be in the UFC. I'm gonna be.
How'd you guys meet?
Shout out my boy Tim.
Yo, Tim is a goat, man. Guardian Angel.
So Tim worked at the UFC gym.
That's
just
great.
like the generic UFC gym. He worked there. He worked like 2 hours a night, 6:30, 7:30, 7:30 to 8:30. And one of the classes was like a kickboxing class. Danny and her sister, 2 hot Mexicans, and Tim and I were like, damn, like, we got to get their IGs. So we went over. I asked for their IGs, and I was like 19 at this time. So I was, I had a big gap in my teeth. I was not cute by any means. Danny did not like me. She wasn't looking for a boyfriend. She was like, I'm there to work out, and then I fucking do hair. Like, but I kept bugging her, and I was just trying to fuck. And she wasn't putting out. And she was late. I invited her to the Coffee Bean. She was 10 minutes fucking.
Damn, you invited her to the Coffee Bean? She still didn't put out?
Yeah,
how dare she?
Crazy.
So that I thought it went well. I'm like texting her, and she's like, I'm like, yeah, she doesn't like super into me at first. And then she was late to the fucking Cafe Zupa's, the sandwich shop. I was like, God damn it. So, but eventually, yeah, she fucking annoyed her enough that we started talking. Then I fucked, and it was like a month in. I'm like, God damn it, now I kind of like her. And
You read that Steve Harvey book, probably.
I did it. Steve Harvey's the man, though. But yeah, that's kind of how that worked. But yeah, it was at the UFC gym where Tim worked. I would go and hang out. That was when we first moved down. We were living together. So I'd always go to the gym, and while he'd teach, then I would fuck around, hang out, help teach, whatever. And yeah, that's where I met her.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's crazy to think.
Shout out Tim, man.
I know, right? Yeah,
Truly.
Does she want to fight?
No, it's funny though. Mexicans just all have that. Like, when she does the kickboxing class, like, she has good technique. She's fucking 5 foot tall. I think what was so attractive for me it was her work ethic. Like, if we were doing sprints on the treadmill, like, she would push it. She would always work really fucking hard. I thought that was super attractive. But she could fight. Well, probably not. She's too little. But Mexicans just have that in them. They just know how to box, hands up, kind of that same little movement. But yeah, so she was just doing the kickboxing workouts.
That's dope. Listen, before we get out of here, I'm trying to think. Do we make any bold statements? You've already said you're coming for the belt next. You already said you want Tank Davis eventually.
Yep.
That could be a really fun fight.
Yep.
You got it right.
It could be a really fun boxing match. And then don't say fight.
Why? Because you think that you'd smoke him if it was...
Well, it was the same argument with Connor Floyd. It's like, hey, let's make sure we're clarifying. Like, there's rules. So we're boxing. There's a fight. And it's not even. That's not entertainment. That's fucking bullying. We're boxing.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys are in MMA and you're fighting against Tank, is it just kicking?
It doesn't matter. Add any element in there, and it's over fast.
Really?
Jiu-jitsu, wrestling, kicks.
You have no concern about getting caught?
No, not dude. One of my most dangerous weapons are my legs, my kicks.
Yeah.
There's no way he could even hit me if we were kicking. Like, well, he just doesn't know, and that's not because he sucks.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it is because he sucks, but it's not. It's because he doesn't know.
Yeah.
He's a fucking good boxer, and it shows.
Yeah.
Him versus Ryan Garcia was very impressive. That first round in the clinch, I was like, Garcia's big, and he's bullying him. And fucker sat down on that left hand and adjusted. He wasn't landing those body shots early on. He started, creeping up a little bit, stepping a little bit more forward. The motherfucker can box.
Yeah.
He could be the face of boxing. That dude could, go down as one of the greatest of all times for sure.
Yeah.
And you think you have a chance.
And I do truly.
Boxing.
I mean, I wouldn't be calling it out if I didn't think so. I've had that, self-belief in myself for a long time.
I like
a
that.
lot of people get very, very upset. Boxers especially when I call them out.
But that only makes you more money.
More money, it's a big fucking fight. And imagine I sleep that dude with boxing gloves on. Suga Ali, baby.
Suga Sean O'Malley, everybody. Thank you for watching.